what's up, guys? Welcome to Flexin and Sexin.
Somebody call the authorities. They're holding me hostage.
We got Eric today, guys. This is my co-host, Levi. Levi, say what's up. Tell the people you love.
Welcome in, Eric. Welcome in.
Hope
everyone's ready for this one.
If y'all don't follow Eric, go and follow him on Instagram. This is what he looks like on Instagram. That's his logo.
Kind of what I look like in the winter, too.
And his link's in my description, so y'all can go click on that, too. There you go. Go ahead, Mr. Levi.
Sorry, give me a second. I'm trying to find his.
What's good, Stan? Mitzi.
Stan, Mitzi, Gio, Ronnie.
Yeah, Gio. Ronnie, what's up,
or
Ronnie?
Actually, one of two. Probably Ronnie.
Hey, Ronnie already knows he has to tell me when Kinsley gets her gift, dude. I'm excited for her to get it.
When y'all plug that, I can't do it from the...
I already have it, bro. I already put it. It's in the description.
You put his link tree in the description?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything's already in the description, bro. That's why I shouted him out now.
Make sure y'all follow Eric. You won't be disappointed. All right. Let's open this shit up, Eric. What do you do?
Obviously, I sit in my car a lot. But
what the hell are you talking about?
But I do primarily, personally, like myself, do a lot of Burmese stuff that I don't like to share. But I also keep a handful of venomous. I keep ball pythons, tegus. There's not much I haven't kept other than majority of like little lizards and arboreals.
All right. What keeps you from arboreals?
Oh, I just haven't.
He said, I don't know.
Nothing has taken my fancy, or there hasn't been nothing available locally that I can check out in person. I don't like buying arboreals online.
All right. So let's bring a little bit of controversy right out the rip here. Would you consider reticulated python fully, partially, or not arboreal at all?
Partially.
I don't,
because when they're little, you'll find a lot of them more, climbing and stuff up. When they get bigger, you can still find them, even out in the wild, you can still find them once in a while. Some of my big ones like to, climb around stuff and all that, even in enclosures and like mess stuff up. Well, ones I had. No longer do I keep reticulated pythons temporarily. I needed the room for all my Burmese, but I'd stay with partially.
All right.
All right.
I agree. I fully agree with that one. There will be no argument.
I knew there wasn't going to be no argument because I'm right.
Whatever. Not all the time.
All right, 99.9% of the time.
Shit. So, on your Burmese projects, what you got cooking that you're available to talk about?
I got a lot of hypa stuff. Granite. Labyrinth is now in the mix.
Okay.
Green. Champagne. Hide. And then some other stuff.
Nice. All right. So, you said bringing in Labyrinth. What drew you to Labyrinth now versus when it was like the biggest hype it's been at?
There was nothing available when I started getting back into the berms and stuff, because for a while I didn't have nothing, and then I got them, and then me being me, I'm just picky and stuck in certain ways and certain looks of snakes I like when it comes to my Burmese.
All right. Well, that makes for a good breeder.
And I'm not one of these schmucks that I'm going to let one of these guys charge me 4 times the price just because they were banned for that brief little bit of time.
All right, so you ain't gonna buy into the inflation, we'll say.
No.
All right. So with the Burmese pythons, tell us an interesting fact that most people don't know, if anyone knows, that you carry around with you about the Burmese pythons.
I don't really know if there's anything interesting that nobody knows that I know. I know there's stuff I've noticed throughout the years because I've been doing this for over 20 years. 20 years ago, you go buy a berm, and like I'm looking at these guys that have these 2+ year-old berms that are like 7 feet, 8 feet, and they feed weekly. I think because of how confined, for lack of better terms, our genetics are in the States and our bloodlines because we can't import them anymore, that it's affecting a little bit of the sizes and the growth rates, because I've had berms that within a year were 10+ foot.
I feel that. Now let's jump off subject to jump back into subject here. Would you argue that humans are intentionally or unintentionally shrinking the size of snakes overall? I mean, it goes all the way down to the balls, all the way up to the retics, but there's some evidence to prove we're shrinking them.
I think, I mean, there's just that weird if and ands. Like you're like for people, like your parents could both be like 5'2", 5'3" ish, and they have someone that's only 4'10", and their other kids like 7 foot tall. I mean, genetics do play a big role in stuff, but I think for the most part, like especially with the bigger species and people want the dwarf them down, make that more available for people that aren't comfortable with 15+ foot snakes that have the ability to keep something just as beautiful and whatnot and house them.
Okay. Now Eden brings up a good point, and you had already mentioned it. The way that we house them, do you think that plays a role in it? I mean, from my knowledge, is we get a lot of misconception. Oh, a snake, just like a goldfish, will only grow to the size of its environment. So if you put this berm in a 8x2x2, it's only going to get 6 foot.
You gonna stop putting weight on if I put you in an efficiency apartment?
Hell no, my fat ass is still going to continue to get fat.
Exactly. It has nothing to do with that. It's all genetics.
All right. Now,
genetics and feeding and the general care of them. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had mentioned to you that one I was looking into that was stunted. Well, what I believe to be stunted, confirmed with you that it was. I got a lot of pushback from that person saying, "Oh, it's not. That's not how it is. I took care of it. I fed it right. I housed it right." And I was like, "Well, I don't know for sure. I'm not going to say that you did or didn't because I wasn't there. But on the same token, I have an expert telling me that this animal is stunted. So left, right, or indifferent, this is a stunted berm. I guess let's bring in another subject, getting off subject back into subject. Dwarf berms. What's your take on them? Let's start there.
The prog size, they're I like them. I plan on they're hard to come by. There's only a handful of people with any actual dwarf berms. My a guy that I know that's local to me, Dylan Hain, he has a prog shy. He's trying to find the opposite sex for his to make pure dwarfs. But my whole feeling on this matter is, like, I see a lot of people selling quote unquote dwarf berms and saying, "Oh, they're going to stay small, this and that," and then you look at it and it says quarter dwarfs. All right, so your snake's not going to get 16 feet, but you're still going to probably get 12 plus maybe. And it's not going to, a 25% isn't really going to affect the majority of them genetically. That's like the same way with the people try to sell their dwarf and super dwarf retics. And anyone that says, "Hey, I got a dwarf retic, tell them to go eat one," because the only quote unquote dwarf retic species that I can remember of was Jampia. And even at that, they get 15. They can get 15 feet. I've seen one too.
Absolutely. Give me just a second. I'm so sorry.
that could have a lot. Well, when it comes down to calories and cholesterol and stuff, though, I would have to say that would be more of an obesity thing in your snakes. But the how often you feed, and if you're feeding damn it. But then how often the animals are fed and whatnot, I think also plays a role in growth. Because just like anything, the more intake of vitamins and stuff and food somebody has as a person, they're going to grow, and it works the same way with most animals. There is limits that they're not going to grow no more. They're going to get sideways like me and Levi, but
love it. All right, so help me understand here, Eric, because this is one of the bigger things I was really excited about bringing you on for, was the discussion of dwarf Burmese pythons. I couldn't think of anybody else that fits that role, that understands them inside and out. Now, me and you's understanding of the super dwarf is great, but it's not as great as others. But could you relate what we know about the super dwarf retic to the Burms, or is the Burms dwarf project completely different? Is it apples to oranges, or is it relative?
I haven't got into it. I haven't looked into the dwarf Burms enough to say it's like the retics from adapting to the food supply and just their DNA evolving. So I can't 100% say that, but I know it's just like coming out, like the attitude's coming out of the wild. So like the dwarf Burms still seem to be a little bit feistier.
Okay.
For the most part, but as for everything else, comparing to the retic, I don't even know if that matter's been really talked about much anywhere.
Okay. So we might be on some groundbreaking shit here. I love it. So let's see. All right. Let's.
A good person though, if you guys could muster to get him to do it live or whatnot, would be Tom Reagan. He kept a bit of dwarf Burms back in the day. He don't keep no more. He does the bodybuilding stuff, but I've seen him do an interview even after being out of reptiles.
Who was this?
Tom Reagan.
Reagan?
Yeah. Tom Reagan.
Yeah, oh, okay.
He had a place. I can't remember what state it was, but I know a tornado hit his facility once. And he was talking about it on Dave Palumbo, an interview with Dave Palumbo. And he goes, I remember being out there running out, picking up vision cages and picking up, Burms stuff out in the, that are out everywhere and getting bit up. Just hurry up and grabbing them and trying to get them all contained and got it back up. Because it tore his building apart through cages for miles, he said.
Fuck, how many animals did he lose throughout that?
I don't know if he ever said. But he's also, in that interview, he also let it loose that there's actually, Bob Clark wasn't the only person to ever have a true leucistic Burmese. That Burmese bloodline is running around in the States. I just don't know how it hasn't popped out.
Hey, Eric, how many snakes do you have total?
26 Burmese, 40 plus ball pythons, 13-ish venomous, and 2 jerk tegus.
Wait, 13 venomous?
Yeah.
What do you got for venomous?
Gaboon vipers, rhino viper now, cobras, and I got a pair of eastern diamondbacks I got to pick up.
Damn. All right.
A hell of a venomous collection.
Oh, no, that's just a start.
Hold on. Let's bring it back to the Burms real quick. So, covered dwarfs. You brought up another interesting subject there. You had mentioned that some dwarf Burms are more feisty than, per se, I'm just going to use terminology I'm familiar with, the mainland, right? Do you believe that applies to all snakes and lizards and, we'll just say all animals in general? The farther away from captivity they've been, the more of an attitude problem they're going to have? Or do you think it's just
the less generations of cat that bred, I think they inherit like that cautiousness and nervousness.
Okay.
But I know what you're saying, Levi, about captive bred, like them being taken out or left in the wild versus coming back in captive. That's
But
like
yeah, Chris.
I want to say like with that, like sometimes even the wild, like just wild snakes, or don't even bite or are aggressive.
Yeah, they're just tend to be more prone because, like, in all honesty, we don't know what them wild snakes have dealt with on the wild. Like, what kind of interactions they've had with humans previously or whatnot.
The growth is a problem with bringing in new guys to the country.
Well, with Burmese and retics, there's no hope. You can't import.
I thought we could still import retics to certain parts of the region, or has that been completely removed?
No, I'm pretty sure Burms and retics, rock pythons, and all that are still on the no import list.
Okay.
Now, is that just recent? Because I've seen.
No, that's been for a few years. I don't think you can import wild caught any of them legally.
Because I know somebody who shoots Burmese.
Import from out of state, the country.
Well, it's from the UK.
Not to the States, they don't.
Oh no. Yeah, see, nobody knows if they did that auction tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
It said 10 a.m. on the flyer because I have the flyer right here. But that I don't know. It said import CB then.
You can't import anything. Burmese, that species is not importable.
Yeah, I know there's, I guess, like any imports that we do see are probably going to be on the black market at this point. No, Eric's correct. We are not allowed to import retics or Burmese pythons.
Or rock pythons or something else.
What is it? It's the man. CMB just had one too.
CB had one?
What's they had one.
Right. I have no idea what you're talking about. CMB had.
No, it's the fourth one on that list. It's the foremost common, bigger restriction.
Anacondas?
We can get anacondas.
Yeah,
no, we can still import them though. I don't know.
Yeah, we can import anacondas. It's just not because
they were on that list whenever it hit years back.
I want to say it was Megaconda that touched on that with her interview with MJ. If you want to check that one out just for her and some of the knowledge that she brought. But I want to say she was saying that we can import them, but because they're such an unpopular species still today, that it doesn't happen that often.
The big snake market slowed down a bit, except for idiots. Except for idiots like me.
You may be wrong.
Bloods, you could still import bloods. So the rock python's also found in Australia. That's the big difficulty with them.
Well, that's scrubs.
Or scrubs. There you go. Sorry. Scrubs. There. That's the fourth one. Scrub pythons.
Let's see.
Well, it's a no-no in Florida. Everything's a no-no in Florida right now.
Yeah. Man, I really hate that they did that and then how they killed the iguanas and all that. I seriously do, bro. It really pisses me off.
I think what they needed to do is anyone breeding the quote-unquote invasive species, they should have had a program set up where the litters get tipped and they track the ownership and figure stuff out.
Like, yeah, you know what? Why isn't that a thing, Eric? Let's touch on that. Why don't we get our reptiles chipped? Why don't more people implement things like that? Because we chip cats, dogs, Hell, I heard of some dude chipping a monitor just to make sure that if it ever got out, you could track it down. Those things are quick as hell.
I ain't spending the money chipping none of my stuff because I'm not gonna be that guy's. I'm not gonna have them issues that when it comes to that stuff.
Do you guys face any natural disaster where you're at?
Family, yeah.
I was gonna say just flooding because I've been out there, so I would say flooding.
Some places flooding. We do get the occasional little microburst or tornado here and there once in a blue moon.
Y'all have earthquakes?
Only whenever I fall.
Yeah, because they're up on mountains out in Pittsburgh, so
yeah,
they're like that.
The state's a lot of valleys and whatnot.
So you, as a responsible keeper, you have minimal to no need to chip. Now, let's say somewhere like Florida, right? Do you think that would be the answer? Let me rephrase the question here. Do you think that could potentially solve some of the issues that Florida's facing, where if one were to get out, FWC could just be like, okay, chip number 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, it's right here, let's go get it.
Well, there's a difference between what you're thinking about and chips. Like getting an animal microchip, if they were to catch them out in the wild and people kept transferring, the right of ownership like they should, they would know who let it loose or who didn't report it got loose or whatnot. And they would know who to go after the right way that's not keeping right or whatnot.
Okay. So a form of responsibility, like
holding somebody liable.
Okay, there you go.
It's like tagging fish and lobster and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that would probably be a big help for them to possibly reduce some of the BS down there if they get the FWC on board.
I feel like that's going to be an uphill battle regardless.
I also think what would help if they found a way, U.S. Art Florida found a way to get the FWC specialist to sit down and understand and talk to some people that actually do this and keep and know what our animals can and cannot survive through.
Well, all right. So to counter that one, and the utmost respect, that's what's going on in North Carolina. They assumed, based on the knowledge that we have, that the tegu shouldn't be able to survive the winters out there. But as they were getting loose, people were just like, whatever, it's going to die. It can't survive out here. And then, contrary to popular belief, they can. They burrow down. They find a way to survive. So I don't believe you were on the panel, but it was one of the things we were talking about with the issues that are going on with Florida. Do you think that more education overall is important for the industry right now, for us to take it from the level that we're at now to all of us essentially need to be on the level of a herpetologist and study these animals more and stop making, I guess, assumptions, right? So a retic gets out here in Arizona. I assume it's going to die by the heat. Am I wrong or am I right?
Because they're going to find a place to hide and get out of the light, and get out of the heat, stuff like that, a little bit cooler. So I'm saying a retic gets out there in Arizona, if there's ample food sources and good places for them to hide. I mean, I don't know what it's like out there when it comes to it. Like, I've never been there, but all it takes is one animal to get into them to sneak into some kind of abandoned shed or abandoned house or whatnot.
I honestly think that we should do more research, like pay for more research. There's always stuff to learn. Like,
okay, so let's use this, right? This is something I just recently learned about. Do I have any Arizona peeps in the comments? If so, let me know if you knew this. ASU leads the nation for reptile studies. They have one of the biggest herpetological societies, if you will, in the entire nation. And the way I found out was actually it was a news article. ASU's herp team, for lack of better terms, just to so I don't sound like an idiot trying to pronunciate it every time, is leading the study for Western diamondback venom potentially being the cure to cancer. If not the cure, it's going to be more effective for the human body than chemotherapy is. It's going to be less toxic, less repercussion on us, but more effective in the fight against cancer. And they're saying it's going to be overall, but for now it's working against like 3 or 4. And as they continue to study, the more and more they're realizing it's going to be an overall answer, not just here, let's pump you full of a bunch of chemicals and call it a day.
But yeah, see, Reptile and Eden are talking about back to the chipping of all the animals, and Reptile's Hutch is talking about that price could literally destroy someone's way of life, though. And if you have a big collection, yeah, that's gonna take a toll on your money. Like,
Well,
Yes.
chipping's relatively cheap.
Yes and no. I mean, okay, so depending on the state, right? There's a lot of circumstances that would go into something like this, and there's variables that we probably won't even have time to discuss for the rest of the time that we have on the panel. But one of the biggest variables is where you live, right? Let's say you're in Florida and you have a large collection. I believe that you almost have a responsibility at that point to chip your animals, because when something goes wrong, you're not letting 1 or 2 animals out. If you have upwards of hundreds of animals, you're literally becoming a part of you are a part of the problem when Florida has a natural disaster and those animals escape. If you have let's say we'll just keep it simple, right? You have 100, you recover 80. 10 are female, 10 are male, you never get them back. That's 10 males, 10 females that are running around as a potential non-native, potential invasive species. So when things go wrong, who's to blame? That keeper is to blame, because there is technology out that could have prevented that. You have those chips, you get those 20 back, and it's no longer an issue.
yeah, but like $45 for, let's say, most people that we talk to have like over 200 animals.
Well,
Right.
let's touch that subject though before we go any further. Them prices also include the fact of the matter that you're going in for the visit, so you're also paying basically for to go there and stuff. If you're doing a whole group at once, it wouldn't be a bad price. And if we're talking about breeders that are doing it, if you're breeding, you're making a little bit of money. So what would you rather do? Throw a few $100, maybe $1,000 a year to chip the animals you're producing and follow a law and keep making multiple thousands extra profit, or stop what you're doing, become a bum?
I mean, if I had to, I would do it. But I'm just saying, like $45 for 200 animals is $9,000.
Well, this should be for like I said, if you take it in a big group, you're probably going to get discounted prices. And there should be some kind of program that, like, the states that are having problems with certain species should have set, and like basically like some kind of contract, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, all right, you're a breeder, you're going to produce on average this much, and like this is going to be an annual. Like, it should be, if you're a breeder and need a license in that state, it should be included.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. So at the lowest price for the average chip cost, I would have to pay about $4,000 if it were mandatory to chip.
But again,
That's
Hutch, are you in a danger zone? Is your
That's because they're going to charge you extra because you're a ginger.
So Matt,
So hold on, let's stick with Hutch for a second. Hutch, are you in a danger zone? Are you in a state where you're facing non-native and potentially invasive species getting out and becoming a problem? Because if you're not, then those states may wait to implement that. But like, to answer the problem to Florida, this is an answer to the problem. Here in Arizona, if we wanted to talk, forgot which panel it was, but me and Darian were touching, hey, if we changed X, Y, and Z and made it to where USR could funnel those funds into changing current laws, like where Arizona, we're not allowed to have outside venomous, right? We fix all the problems that our nation and hobbies having now. USR goes in, gets this changed. The first thing Arizona Game and Fish is going to ask, what are you guys going to do? You know, what are y'all gonna do to stop the cottonmouth from becoming a native or invasive species when you guys bring it here? And you know, it gets out. Accidents happen. Shit happens. We're not perfect. And this goes for all animal keepers and all humans in general. But what's the answer? Okay, well, check this out, director so and so. For every venomous animal I bring in, I chip them before they even get here. Have them chipped, so that way they can be tracked during transit. Make sure they arrive and they stay in my custody. And if something ever happens, one phone call or you guys are checking on them habitually, bam, you know exactly where that cottonmouth is or the copperhead, and we can go get it. Oh, you know where that king cobra is. Oh, you know where that berm is. Oh, you know where the retic is.
Well, see, you're talking about chips that would be more expensive than what we're talking about. We're just talking about chips that, like, for example, Florida, if they go down and these guys that are hunting and killing these snakes, they hit them with a scanner. Boom! Oh, this is the guy that owned it is supposed to have this. Let's go find out why he doesn't have it and deal with it.
Okay, but we would have to take it to that next level, though, right? Because you know, game and fish from every state's going to be like, oh, that's cool. So you're going to have the chip, but we can't find it. That's the issue. When these animals get out, we can't find them. We can't confirm they're alive, dead, and not breeding to become, you know, an issue in the ecosystem. So, yeah, the cost goes up. But again, like you said, as a breeder, right? We work that. We're just going to have to work. We would have to work that into the cost of the animal, right? We're going to breed.
But to actually have like a GPS tracking type chip, it's going to significantly increase it to where that would probably be almost undoable for a lot of people, even like big breeders.
So why can't they do that with the iguanas instead of killing them, putting them down, chip them, track them, put them in or build them?
My thing is, I don't even know why they would even bother killing them all instead of just grouping them up and shipping them out.
I wouldn't say chip them out, like group them up and like put them in a sanctuary or something just for iguanas.
You know, they get eventually overrun, but they can ship them out. Hell, like if they want to get, if you want to get technical about it, and like a lot of people, it's going to get under some people's skin. Man, you can cook iguana. Iguana doesn't taste bad.
They were saying the same thing about Burmese pythons. They're saying they're edible.
Right, I've heard that about snakes too. So
any animal is, yeah. I've eaten rattlesnake before.
Yeah, tastes like chicken, man.
Depends on how it's cooked.
Fair enough. So out here. All right. So real quick, just off a quick search, right? All right. So the chip that I had in mind, right, probably is way more expensive. We're talking about one that would be injected into the animal, right?
Yeah. In general, they'd be injected in the animal.
Okay. So there would be some species that slip this rule, right? But from what I'm seeing for dogs, it's a collar, and they're about for a cheap one, $17.88 on Amazon, right? And then, you know, they've got all the way up to $1,500 freaking dollars. So what if we made like a snake collar, right? They shed and blah blah blah. We would obviously have to do extra things, but again, that extra care would be worth being able to keep certain animals, right? Like I know there's a lot that would go into it, but that, I mean, it could be a temporary answer until the technology comes out to be able to just poop. There's a chip. Have fun. $15. Thanks. Bye. Have a good day.
Then in the end, maybe they shouldn't be in that program if they can't be responsible on it. Why be part of it?
That's the bottom. That's the bottom line. Like, it shouldn't have to go to that extent. It should just be a responsibility thing. And like if you're somewhere where invasiveness is a problem, if you screw up, then they need to be more stricter, and they need to have like some kind of guidelines and whatnot. So eventually, if somebody that's going to keep offending isn't able to own them. I mean, like, let's be realistic. Like, basically, what we're talking about is just like with dog licensing. You have to license your dogs. At least here you do. You're supposed to.
I mean, that's not a thing where I'm at, but I mean, eventually it will be with the amount of cats and dogs that are running the damn street.
And the whole invasive species subject is what up, Mike, is a very touchy subject, anyways, because we're not like the problems. Like the iguanas are really heavy down there, yes, but the snake problems they're saying with the Burmese and stuff aren't as big as they say. Because you think about this, yeah, they may be out there reproducing, and this is the big ones that are actually surviving. But the amount of babies that get picked off and eaten by like gators or random animals is higher than what people think. And like I have friends that live down there that have went looking for stuff, and they've come across a couple, yes, but they don't come across them as much as people are saying.
Gio's right. It says humans are an invasive species.
Oh, we're the most invasive species there is. Like they, they're pushing this issue about the ecosystems, but what are they trying to do down there as it is? They're trying to
hold on. Sorry, I have to reply to that one. Eden, get the hell out of California. They're infecting your brain. Fuck the government monitoring us. Anyways.
But we're the most. I mean, they're trying to keep stretching out and take more and more of the Everglades as it is. Like instead of building sideways, build your condos and shit and build them upwards. We got the technology. I mean, we got buildings that are how many stories tall, how big.
Well, look at Dubai, right? Dubai is it's a large area, but its populace is fucking insane. You figure, oh, they're sitting on top of each other. They're fucking, everything is just condensed. It's not. It's well spread out. Everything's up in the air. They have skyscrapers that are the world's tallest that make our skyscrapers look like child's play. And these things are so large they could fit so many people, and they withstand the weathering. They're designed extremely well. They're designed for every catastrophe that we face so far, if not more catastrophes that we're going to see in the future, because they thought 10 steps ahead. Hey, if this, I don't know what weather catastrophes they face, but let's say this hurricane comes in, this building's going to stand 5 of these level 5 hurricanes. So it would be like a level 15 for layman's terms coming in. That would even start to begin the question of the structure. But then again, I mean, there's economics that go into it. But yeah, that's what Phoenix is doing. Instead of going out, it's trying to go up. Granted, the idiots that started all of it were like, oh, let's just go outward.
Well, it's common sense. I mean, like eventually we keep doing this, we're gonna be relying on other countries for all of our food and everything, because we're gonna take up all land.
Oh, it's not just us. It's look at what we're doing in the Amazon rainforest, man. Like, fucking, we deforest a chunk of it every damn year, and how much until that's gone?
Hey, Eric, so I got a question for you. What the hell just happened?
On that note, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink and check on my daughter.
All right. Well, I don't know what happened with Eric. I guess his phone died or something. I had a good question for him. Let's see if he comes back. Oh, there we go. What happened?
I was replying to a text message back too many times.
And he was like, damn it. Anyway, so I have a question for you, Eric.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
So you're a breeder, you sell a retic to an 18-year-old kid. The kid ends up letting the snake loose. They find the snake, and they say it's chick, right? So they track it back to the kid. But should the kid be at fault or the breeder? Because he sold it to the kid.
Well, the kid's 18. He's old enough to be responsible. It'll be.
Yeah,
him,
but
like. We're going on a car trip now.
Let's say the kid didn't said that the breeder didn't explain how big the snake got. So who's at fault now?
Listen, that's someone I was talking to. I can't remember who. Like, man, that's one of my peeves with this hobby. We suck.
The breeder.
A lot of our if they're not giving the correct information out, I would suggest a breeder. But like, they should make sure that I think that if you're selling snakes, make sure I got my keys. You should at minimum have a full pamphlet of what's going on, And if it comes to that case about responsibility where we got to go that deep into it, they should make whoever's buying it sign it and take a picture of their IDs, like saying, hey, they knew what they were getting into. I had a guy from New York whenever I had retics and I was selling them, trying to buy retics on me. I was talking to him and I looked up his profile and his name and everything. And I'm like, dude, I'm not selling you a retic. You're in New York, they're illegal. He's like, well, I'll just go down to the Hamburg Reptile Show and I'll buy one. I'm like, well, not from any of my people you won't, because they all got your pictures and everything now.
And then people are saying 50-50 breeder for not giving out the info, kid for not seeking it out. But really, it's the kid for not doing his research.
Well, the people that are saying 50-50, but how many impulse buys do we all do, honestly?
Yeah, but I could agree with that too, though, because the breeder doesn't. Some breeders don't have the care sheets. They don't explain how big the snake is. They're just there for a quick buck.
That's exactly it.
So I think so. I'm gonna go on the contrary here, and I'm gonna blame the hobby. Right?
See?
I'm not gonna blame the breeder. I'm not gonna blame the kid in this situation. I'm gonna blame the hobby, because we've allowed this to happen. So at the end of the day, it's on us for allowing this to happen in the first place. We, as keepers and educators, have to put out enough knowledge and control in this hobby where this shouldn't be happening in the first place.
Well, your argument is invalid, sir, because we can't control other people's doings.
You're right, but we can control a kid.
No, if they're 18, we can't control them. Like, they can buy what they want, do what they want. Like,
well, an 18-year-old is responsible enough to own a Burmese or a retic, in my opinion. I owned a firearm at 18. I can own a damn snake that can kill me.
I don't know why they would sell you a gun at your age even now. I mean, I'm just no. But I don't know.
That's true, Hutch. I agree with Hutch on that one.
I can't read them in the midst of the drive when he say.
He said, if you are selling a large animal to someone that doesn't have any experience, then you are thinking about the longevity. You're not thinking about the longevity of your business and destroying everyone else's job security that breeds them.
Yeah. And that's a good example. I'm glad Hutch said that, because, for example, Dylan Hayne that I was talking about, I'm almost 100% sure that my first Burmese I ever bought was off him. And when I met him, before he even, took my money and completely handed it over to me, he told me how big they get in this net. Whatnot. I'm like, yeah, I know they get this big. I'm like, I did my research on it, but he makes sure people know what they're getting into.
And I mean, I think this is one of those discussions that we're going to continue to have until something finally gives or something actually finally changes. But
we're going to have this discussion until we kick the bucket.
So what could we do to change it, though? Honestly, what could we do?
Hold breeders accountable.
Okay.
See it happen at an expo.
Like, if you sell something to somebody and you give them all their information and stuff and they still go fuck up, that's not us.
That's what? I'm sorry, you broke up.
I said, if somebody goes somewhere and they buy an animal and they're given all the information, they're given a care sheet, they're given all this and that, and they still mess up, that is on that people, not the breeder.
No, absolutely. But okay, so
give me approximately 30 seconds to get out, grab this snake, and get back in.
Go for it.
All right, hurry up.
Here, I'll answer that question for you then while we're at it. Up to 40.
So I wouldn't even care if the person was about to buy a $5,000 snake for me. If I was selling a big snake and they had no experience, they kick rocks on me. I agree, Hutch. I agree. I mean, believe it or not, here in Texas, people that never had no venomous snakes either, they just there for a quick buck. They're selling them to anybody, dude. Anybody. And honestly, I think the breeders here that, in Texas that breed them, I mean, there should be something that they had to go through, like waivers, sign something, be like, hey, this snake is going to him, held them accountable. Like, hey, he bought it, he knew what he's getting himself into. He said he did the research, but I mean, then again,
have them sign an agreement.
A retic can lay. How many eggs does a retic lay? Levi?
Up to 40.
40?
40.
God damn, that's a lot of eggs. And it says, do you need 15 to 20 pairings?
I don't think so.
He just said, I don't think so.
I heard that.
You're adding to the problem, no? Are you answering? Were you answering me on that one, Gio?
Because that's a whole nother thing that I would love to drag Eric in on that one. That's a good one, Ethan.
Which one?
If you bite me, I'll bite you back.
So
no, nobody's biting you, bro. What are you talking about? Oh, you're a snake.
Oh, nice. That's a pretty one.
Yeah, lesser heptide female.
So with the reticulated pythons, right?
You know I love to argue this stuff, so good.
When you're breeding reticulated pythons, are you adding to the issue? My answer is no, because a lot of responsible, good reticulated python owners like myself and you are going to go, hey, hypothetically you're in Arizona, right? I go, hey, Eric, yo, I got this Phantom Sunfire. You got the Pied. Let's do a combination breeding. Let's do a project together so that way we cut down on the amount of eggs, especially when it comes to recessives, because how many of those snakes aren't going to be sold properly? How many of those snakes aren't going to find the proper home? So we cut up to let's say 40 viable eggs,
sure.
Right? That's one of the possibilities that comes out of retic pairing. So if you're doing a project, I'm doing a project, we're bringing 80 new retics in versus let's cut that shit in half and say 40 just as a hypothetical number, and that's what I believe retics lay, right? Am I wrong?
It varies
so
drastically.
Can be up to 40 though, right? Like let's say healthy.
Jay from Prehistoric Story Pet said he's seen one lay up in the 90s. It was a giant female, but like they average usually I think 30 to 50-ish.
So by us working together though, we cut that shit in half, right? 25 to 30 we'll say on average. And we cut down on the populace. Let's say we get 25 viable eggs, good babies. We hold back 5, we sell the other 20 instead of selling some large number of retics, because we know that not every one of those 20 are going to go to a good home, but we're cutting down on the number of issues that we're going to have in the future by working together.
See what the thing is too is with a lot of these people, and this is one thing I'll say, and like obviously with my Burmese I've proved it. If I breed something, I don't care if I can keep it. I mean, I'll keep as many animals as I have to and keep them. So I'm ultimately breeding for myself. But a lot of these guys, for example, the big safe guys that get into it and stuff, produce so many at a time, and that's why the big snake market's dropped down a bit. But you produce so many at a time, and then you start dropping down prices, and then you start making stuff really easily available, and then they go to people who buy them for the wow factor. And then whenever they're sitting there with for example, like whenever I got tagged by that 12-foot retic in the leg and it wrapped me, I just kind of looked at it. You get somebody gets tagged once by something that's like 6 feet. That's almost enough to drive a lot of people away from keeping. But
Absolutely.
Who knows how they're gonna just deal with rehoming or whatever with the animal. I've known people that unfortunately it sucks for me to say this, that I know a guy that he got bit by a boa and went out and put it down. Like there's some people that just shouldn't have animals.
I agree.
Oh, absolutely. I 100% concur with that. I've heard of that happening with dogs too. I mean, it's every animal species.
Yeah, a lot of people need to. Bottom line is like we need to make sure that they know the size they get. And for example, for like the big animals like the Burms and retics, the stuff I like, that they know the feeding requirements they're going to need. that they're going to be selling out piles of horse-sized piles of poop and all that out of their enclosures and cleaning in the size enclosure they're going to need.
Gio says he agrees, just like some shouldn't have kids.
I won't argue that. But,
right?
man, I mean, if some of our breeders did more of it trying to, feel out the buyers, we'd be better off. But like whenever I have people that ever bought off me, I'm like, this is what you're gonna need to house it in whenever it's an adult.
Okay, so
oh, go ahead, because I was about to tag on to this as something. I just
go ahead, bro. I was gonna jump into something else or go back and forth, literally, either.
So I'm gonna hold myself accountable here for what I said. Eric, you're right. You can't hold the breeder 100% accountable because it just dawned on me. The fucking internet, right? It's a thing. It's probably the most popular thing in today's age, right? Let's go. I'm going to look up reticulated pythons. I'm a brand new snake wanting to own, or I'm a brand new person wanting to own snakes. Don't know my ass from a hot rock. I jump on Morph Market. Oh, I saw Jay's got some badass reticulated pythons. Or, hey, I saw that somebody from so-and-so said, oh, go get yourself a retic. They're pretty badass. Don't know much about them.
Howard, we said hello, Ronnie.
I jump on Morph Market here, right? Cute little adorable snake is the photo. Let's see how much the price is. Oh, it's only $150. Oh, that's right in my price range. Let me jump on here and buy it. Oh, okay. So breeder doesn't say much, doesn't do anything. I think both parties are at fault at that point. But I think this is a big part of the issue.
Morph Market.
Not Morph Market. I'm not blaming Morph Market. Like, don't even fucking. We're not going there. We should edit and snip that out.
Basically, the accessibility the internet provides.
Exactly, because whether it's Morph Market, let me clarify this because I am not going to war with Morph Market. It's already been done. It doesn't go well. This is anything. Kingsnake.com, Craigslist, Facebook, Instagram. You could jump on there and find, oh, look, that's a super badass looking snake and it's in a little tub, right? That doesn't seem too big and scary. And if I don't know much and nobody tells me anything, that's a cool badass little snake. Oh, it probably gets the size of a king snake, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, accessibility. And then let's go back and let's step back in what Eric was saying. Let's talk price ranges, right? Both those animals I just showed were $150. So we'll add on to the accessibility issue. I don't think those animals should be $150. I think they should be more. I think they should be up there with the higher end snakes because let's be real, morphs and retics are badass, but retics in general should have a standard that's up there with like Eric, what's a really, really expensive? A scrub, right? We'll say they should be up there with the scrubs and the rocks. Those are two of the most expensive snakes I can think of off the top of my head. One, because of availability, which obviously that's why we're talking price, but the type of species also. I guess I answered my own question, Eric. Would you agree that accessibility might help us answer some of our issues that we face with retics and berms ending up in the wrong hands?
We can say that, but then again, it's also a double-edged sword. Accessibility also makes it harder to make the industry viable.
But correct me if I'm wrong here as far as like the economics of our industry go. And Hutch, you can chime in too.
He will. He got a big mouth. He will.
The big snake market really doesn't determine much for us right now, and it really hasn't for the last 10 or 15 years from what I understand. It's the ball, python, colubrid, like extremely rare market that determines where we are financially, like what pillars are holding us up, and the number one being the ball python, obviously, but then second to that would be the colubrids, then third to that would be everything else.
Yeah, but you can't go and talk about the hobby in a whole and then separate it by species.
But couldn't you though?
No.
I mean, the face of the hobby is ball pythons.
The base of the hobby is ball pythons to only certain people. It's sure in the hell ain't ball pythons to me.
No, you're right, and it's not to me either. But
Well, then therefore, you just answered your own question, sir.
Yeah, no, okay, you're right. No, you're right. Yeah, I did answer my own question because Jay's prehistoric, right? Like you talk about the face of this industry.
That's
Jay
really no
is the
different.
face, and Jay doesn't work with ball pythons. I don't. Have you ever seen him have a video of ball pythons? Now that I'm thinking about it, like the biggest face of our hobby, I don't even think keeps them. I know he admires them, but he doesn't keep them.
Oh, he's sure in the hell ain't the biggest face of our hobby.
I beg to differ.
I beg to differ.
Who's the biggest face of our industry?
Barcheck.
No.
Yeah.
No. Jay outdoes.
Oh, yes.
Jay's got more followers on every platform. Period. Jay unfortunately is the face of this industry.
You know how many of them followers don't have them accounts anymore and don't this and that?
Oh no, you're right. And now you can open up
and
the door.
Don't even watch his stuff. I'm a Jay follower and I don't watch his stuff anymore.
Yeah, because he's hitting your algorithm.
Did you see Ryan's what he said? So when buying a retic or could we do that? Let's tell them, hey, look, you're gonna buy the retic. It's whatever 150, but you're also gonna go spend another like what 350 for the cage and setups.
Yeah, but that doesn't do much because that's what I was told too. Is you're going to spend all this money on the cage, all this money on the.
Well, actually, you can't even say it because it all depends. Because if you're handy, you can have a cage for like $100 done up out of you can refurb it, reuse like whatever the hell the word is I'm trying to use. But if you're one of them people that aren't savvy, you're just going to buy what companies are selling. You're going to have more than $100 because you're not going to go and buy a baby and throw it in an 8x3.
You're going to grow it up and blah. Yeah.
If you just Google how big a retic is and it tells you everything. Is this 18-year-old living with his parents?
But like with what we're talking about, we can't put. It's hard to put responsibility. Responsibility should be both ways. Like, I'll get back to this conversation I've had, and I'm probably pretty sure you guys have heard it. On the one show, a venomous vendor was going to sell an 18-year-old kid that his first venomous snake. It was going to be a forest cobra, and I'm like, oh. And I intervened. I said, that is probably one of the worst first snakes you could ever get for a venomous snake. I was like, if you haven't done your research, you haven't, depending on what you've worked with and this and that, I'm like, you're going to be messed up.
So you did exactly what I've been talking about, though. You held that breeder accountable because you could have been the same as that breeder and walked away and be like, not my fucking problem. But you walked up to that kid and you held that breeder accountable, whether he likes it or not, by telling that kid the facts that he needed to know. Hey, that is not a beginner species. You're going to get fucked up and you need to do more research. I'm sure you asked the kid questions and there was a bunch of other back shit that went into it and he probably answered the questions wrong. Do you know anything about it? No.
The guy didn't even ask him any questions at all.
Exactly. So you did what a responsible keeper would do, or a responsible breeder, and you held a shit breeder responsible because at the end of the day, you could have walked away.
It was a guy I was about to drop probably close to $2,000 with on venomous stuff. And then
he didn't know what he was working with?
I was about to buy $2,000 of venomous stuff off him, but whenever he went to go sell at that kid, and I mentioned that to the kid, I'm like, that's not a good, first snake. I'm like, he doesn't have anything here that I probably even would suggest anyone buy a first snake for.
Oh wow!
And I could probably name 4 offhand, like personally, I've met in person.
Did you see that makeup brochure with like pics and everything, like right here? What live ASMR said?
But there should be every species, and there is. This is the horrible part. Every species, there should be a care guide printout for what you're selling at your table.
Can I one up that?
Go ahead.
I mentioned something earlier that we forget is a thing. I don't know why. Maybe because we're not of that generation. Technology's huge. Technology's everywhere. I'm an IT nerd, so I get irritated when technology's not up to date in certain places. Put a fucking tablet in the middle of your computer, in the middle of your table.
Hold on, stop. No, I'm going to cancel you out right there.
Why?
If you're going
to idea.
Yeah, but if you're going to a show and you're going to look to buy stuff, you're not going to sit there and watch and learn and read at that show about the animal.
Why not? You can have them read it, watch the video, and then at the end they can sign it. Oh yeah, we saw the video.
That's think about the traffic in a show. They're not going to have people standing there waiting to watch to sell snakes. It's
okay. Well, what if you did something as basic as just having the care sheets pulled up, right? So you could program the tablet to have whatever you want on it, right? So you're going to have your PDF files.
I don't argue that maybe like a care sheet playing on the animals sitting in your setups, like sitting back here on your tables, would be a bad thing to have. But every animal that leaves your table, that species care sheet should be going with it.
I got. Okay, so you're right. Thank you for. Now you got my trip month. Ooh, this is why.
But what if the brochure paper?
Okay, exactly. So that paper goes just like every paper I get handed at an expo into a bag, into my pocket. I think I've saved like a handful of stickers maybe that haven't gone through the fucking washing machine or got thrown away. Put a QR code on top of the selling enclosure, right? The display. That way, pull out your smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, you're either 90 years old or you don't fucking live in today's day and age.
Chris, Iron Dog.
Probably shouldn't be in this regardless. Scan the QR code automatically to your phone. The entire care sheet, videos, all of it. Bam. And it's super easy to make a QR code today.
A QR code. Yeah, but what I'm saying is if a lot of these people, depending on how, for example, the one breeder I bought off, they have bags and stuff. Person I bought off at the show. Their own bags and stuff for everything, and like they put everything in a bag.
Okay.
And the only person that I have ever seen put in a care sheet, and I looked over at them and I'm like, I don't need the care sheet I have, and I just rattled the list down, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, so don't waste your paper. Give it to somebody that actually needs it.
Okay.
See, and I agree with Gio because reptiles they what do you call it, like
evolve.
Yeah, they evolve and they learn to live where they're in their habitat and their environment. Like if the environment changes, they're gonna evolve and change.
That goes for everything. That's not just so. This is just a fun life. This is just a life.
With all stages of life. Yeah.
But bottom line, if you're selling stuff and you're not, and there's times like that, your tables are busy, depending on how many helpers you have or whatnot. You may not have the time to discuss fully everything with everybody. Right. But the bottom line is, whenever you're selling an animal, you should be like the question you should be asking: have you ever kept anything like this before? No. Okay. Do you know it gets this size? Do you know when it's an adult, you're gonna need an enclosure this size, and it's gonna eat this. And if it's a venomous, if you get tagged by it, there's no saving you.
So let's just say you're selling me a retic, right? And you have the QR code, right? So I scan the QR code and it plays like a little video. Like the retic as a baby eats, and then when it gets bigger, eats like baby chicks. When it gets a little bit bigger, eats what? Jumbo-sized rats. And then when it gets like a little bit bigger, they eat what? 8-pound bunnies?
Not in that exact sequence, but yeah.
Yeah, not in that exact sequence, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Oh, he's skipping stuff, but like he's not going like specific. And
then it would change. Like as the snake grows, it would change the tank or the housing of the snake. It gets bigger, so they can see like, oh shit, I'm gonna need that much room.
It's not. It's not.
And also. And let's be honest, also, whenever it came to the tablet thing, now this just popped in my head that Chris was saying this. That tablet idea is only good if you specifically work with a single species. Because if you're going to have a table with multiple species on there, multiple tablets playing at the same time, you think they're going to pay attention to one tablet? People's attention spans are shorter than leave mine. But they're pretty short. Like they're not going to be able to focus if you got other stuff focused. Like I'm sitting here watching a video about Burmese, but yet here's one of these high blue chondros on the next video over here. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool looking. I might just miss something vital.
So maybe it's time, right? All right. So we're all preaching education. Maybe it's time we change things, right? Let's say you're right. Multiple tablets and the chaos of an expo and all the people stepping on each other. Maybe it's time we change that, right? Maybe it's time that, all right, so this shit isn't working. It's obviously not. We've got US Arc Florida, we've got US Arc, we've got issues all over the damn country on a consistent basis with all sorts of animals, right? This isn't just retics. This isn't just venomous species. This isn't just tegus. This is everything in general. All right, so real quick, just to touch on the subject. Arizona Rattlesnake Solutions is the #1 relocating snake company in the state of Arizona. What is the #1 most relocated snake that they face?
Trouser snake.
No.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Oh my
Probably
God.
the Western.
Spit a snake out there. What do you think it is?
Probably the Western.
No.
Oh yeah, that'll work too, Iron Dog. You're right. Just have the whole setup.
All right, now I'm going to cancel and void that out. Whenever you're at a show and you only have a certain amount of space, you can't have a full display set up for every animal that you're selling, every species.
Okay. No. What I'm saying, okay, so what I'm saying is let's change it. But hold on, Chris, answer the damn question. What is the #1 most relocated snake in Arizona?
Do we live in Arizona?
I know, right? Like
just take a guess. Eric was close.
The Western Diamondback. That's what y'all have out there.
It's a fucking ball python.
In Arizona?
In Arizona.
No way, bro.
I swear to God, dude, I will show you the Facebook facts and you can talk to Dave himself.
All right, well, right there, you can take them and flush them down.
Right there, I'm with Eric. We got to cancel you out on that one, bro.
Yeah. Okay, well, whether you like it or not, it's fact. And it's backing what I'm saying. We have a problem in this industry where the #1 relocation company in Arizona's relocated snake is not a native species. It's a ball python. It's a non-native species.
But why though?
Because people let them out. Because people don't give a shit. Because they don't know any better.
Yeah, but they don't get big.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you hear that kind of stuff, the people outside of our industry that hate us and despise us are like, oh, yep, there's even more backing to back up what we're doing and what we're saying. And the government and the people that we're voting in are going, oh, you know what? Let me listen to this person because this can become a problem. I don't like this because, again, that term that Ronnie brought up, it's great. People say that it's invasive. You think these politicians give a shit and actually do the research? No, they don't. Let's face fucking facts here. No, they do not read it. They hear something from somebody that has some sort of degree or thinks there's somebody in the political world, and they go, okay, I can listen to so-and-so. He's in my ear, so we'll use Mark Kelly, right? Mark Kelly's got his guy in his ear. Hey, the #1 found snake in Arizona that needs to be relocated is invasive. It's a ball python. That's a non-native species. And Mark Kelly goes, okay, cool. You know what? Now I'm 100% behind the Lacey Act. Now that's a huge politician with a whole lot of power behind him that is against us. That is a power that most of, if not the entire industry, is not going to be able to fight. Because his power, like I was telling Hutch, goes beyond reptiles. We are a small little minority, a speck of water in the ocean to what true politics are and what's going on over there. So when they start looking at us and we're bringing heat to ourselves, it's David and Goliath and we're missing a fucking slingshot, dude.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Hold on.
So maybe it is time that we change things. Maybe it is time that we go, okay, maybe we need to slow these expos down. Instead of 2 days on the weekend, we make this thing week long. Right? Let's just hypothetically, in theory right now, let's make this thing a week long. Let's go Sunday to Sunday. The expo's open. Let's slow down the foot traffic so we can give these people time to pick up.
All right, well, we might as well just go to Petco.
Why?
Because 95% of the people doing expos and shows do them on the weekends because they're not working. They're doing this and that, and it's a side gig.
Okay, so it's Country Thunder. That's a 4-day music festival during the week that people manage to take time off for and make happen, and it's
and how often does that happen? There's expos every week.
Okay, so there's expos every week, right? All right, so yeah, the small little expos that happen once a week, yeah, fine. Like the Mesa Convention Center, that one is a drop in the ocean as compared to NRBC. That's the expos that I would want to target.
But hold on, I'm gonna put this bluntly. Your idea right there about spreading them out the week long is stupid because nobody can afford that. You can't afford to take a lot of time away from your main source. If they're not your main source of income, you can afford that. And even if they are your main source of income, you can't. Can you take that much time away from your facility?
Does the breeder need to be there all 7 days, or can they rotate breeders out?
Do you want proper knowledge?
What I'm saying is, right, so it's just like a concert.
But right here, I'm gonna cancel you out again before you get. I already know where you're going. We were just talking about the breeder responsibility. How are we gonna do this whenever some of these breeders aren't responsible enough to give out the right information? They're gonna have good names and this and that, but they're not telling people anything anyways. So what the hell was the point of it?
Okay, then again, let's go back to holding each other accountable, right? So let's say I'm at the expo and I'm doing exactly what you said. I'm selling venomous snakes to people that have no business selling snakes to these people. What's stopping you or me or Chris or anybody in this industry from going to Cusco and being like, hey, look, man, I hate to be that person, but this is going to save us from a problem that's bigger than we can even fathom. You need to go have a conversation with that breeder, or you need to ask them to leave.
They're going to leave us sell their snake somewhere else. So.
But if we continue to do that and we leave them nowhere to sell, eventually they're going to give up. So, all right, let's use car dealerships.
There's no way to stop them from selling stuff because of the internet.
Okay, so you're telling me right now that with the internet and okay, so we'll use it as an example. You're telling me the cancel culture doesn't succeed because they do more often than not because of how many people stay consistent and on top of the issue that they're having issues with. I'm not saying they're legitimate, but it's an example.
Well, let's clarify this one thing though. You're saying the cancel culture succeeds, but the only reason the cancel culture succeeds is because enough of them bitch and whine and moan, and it turns out to be like it comes into some kind of law or something like that, or some kind of rule with legal backlash. Whereas if we try to do that and this and that, they're just gonna be like, look, these idiots can't even, handle stuff on their own, and there's nothing we can stop because the laws allow us to do what we do. Anybody can do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we're in a fuck situation. If somebody doesn't want to be responsible with what they're doing, it's just gonna look bad at us. I mean,
okay.
All we can do is like we're doing right now is like try to spread the news.
Time out. Sorry.
That's not how you do timeout. That's a sideways T. You got to do it the right way, sir. It doesn't count.
Yeah, you play fucking sports. What are you doing, guy?
That's sideways.
I'm gonna put you in timeout.
You don't go like this. You go like this.
Yeah,
whatever. Timeout.
There you go.
Okay, I'm gonna answer this question real quick. Yes, live ASMR. We already talked about that in the beginning of this live chipping and stuff like that, like lost dogs or cats. Yes, we already discussed that. And we're still kind of debating that back and forth. Actually, we were talking about it being more, like really expensive for breeders. So, but that's a whole nother subject. Go on, guys.
And then the backtrack one thing on Eden's saying that taking setups for each individual species to a show is an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's common sense. If you're taking, like a lot of these guys take, like I see people taking 100+ animals for a table. Mm-hmm. And have 6 or 7 species, but they're only limited to a certain amount of table size. You don't have the room to put the enclosures there.
So, all right, let's hone it back in here.
But photos of what they should be in and stuff wouldn't be bad, and have hanging around, or like a poster board. Or
what about the damn tablet, dude? So all right, so you've been to
we already canceled the tablet thing. Shut up.
No, you mount the tablet to the table, and this tablet's available to anybody that walks by the table, and it's got all the information that you need in it. You can preset your tablet and lock it to where it only does certain amounts of things.
All right, you mount a tablet to a table that you don't own and get in trouble.
What if it's your table and you brought it? Okay, let's just say he brought his own table.
the hell takes a table?
I mean, you have to take a table to the expo show, don't you?
No, they supply them.
Oh, well, we brought our own tables. Let's just say in this scenario.
The only person that takes anything is Garrett Hartle because he takes that crazy ass setup he built.
Oh my God, Eric likes canceling me out on everything, man.
It's kind of why I brought him on the show. Eric's going to be the
No,
most.
I just said the only person that takes anything is like Garrett Hartle because he has that crazy ass setup, which I love.
Eric is right. The tables are pre-supplied. All right, fine. You put out QR codes for each species that you own. What's stopping you from pulling out your phone and doing your research right then, right there?
Not every phone, not every phone QR scans.
Anything 2008 and newer can read a QR.
Oh, then Benji's definitely screwed.
Yeah, okay. Well, it sucks to be Benji. It sucks to be anybody that's not with the new agents. In that case, then that's where you take the time to, okay, so this dude's 80 fucking years old and has an iPhone 0.5.
It ain't funny. I have a friend still using an iPhone 5.
Okay, so if
said
that's if
0.5.
the QR code won't work, or a tablet, so why not get like a stand that you press a button and it tells you about the retics or the Burmese or whatever?
You know what? God damn it, Eric. When I do this, when I become a part of the expos, I'm gonna put a tablet out there and I'm like, take a picture of it. I'm gonna send it to you. As my bam, bitch. I told you it'll work.
Bro, I feel like it would work too, though. You can't cancel everything out.
And then 10 minutes later, somebody, some little bastard stole my tablet.
I was gonna say that. I'm making an insurance claim as we speak.
And that's a good.
Yeah, no, my argument was, well, let me clarify that. I didn't say the tablets wouldn't work at all. I said for the people selling multiple species to have multiple tablets running at the same time wouldn't work because people's attention, as we know in this day and age, sucks.
Okay. Hey, Eric, read the comment right now.
Don't tell me what to do. You ain't my dad.
Hey,
I can answer that one.
Timeout. Put his ass in timeout, bro.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. You're not. Stop trying to steal Darren and shit. Anyways.
Yeah, stop bullying me.
I'm not. I'm telling you to read the comment because I got something to debate on this.
Hey, I hope some random lady messaged you about bullying me.
You tell her? Did you tell her it wasn't me? That it was Darren?
I already know how he's going to answer this question. Yeah, you're kind of giving yourself away there, Eden, because that person brought a less amount. But as a personal favorite, the table that I go to has more species than I can even sit here and have time to be able to list out. That takes a lot of space. To put all of them in the proper enclosures wouldn't make sense. But this same breeder is the same one that's going to clear that crowd away, is going to have everyone take 3 steps back and specifically hone in on that person that's asking about the reticulated python, that's asking about the boa, that's asking about the Burmese python, and he's going to go, hey, you need to know these things. You need to be able to be...
Hold up, though. But that only implies to like good breeders that would take the time to do that, so they have setups to show their animals and what they need and the care and all of that, you know. Yeah, but also at the same time, you could also actually set out in front of those casings, like take a flyer, take a brochure, or whatever. You know, only a good breeder would have something like that. But how many of us do that? How many of us would take the time to do that? Because you know it does cost to make those brochures.
That's why, Ashley.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you. She wants to know why you keep going to your car.
You forgot his damn snake.
No.
That's exactly it. People don't like being singled out.
All right, so I feel like we're running around in a ginormous fucking circle here. We're answering the same question a different way.
Well, I wasn't running. I was driving around a big ass circle, but
canceling out everything we talk about, bro.
No, I cancel it out because I make good valid points, though.
Okay. Anyways, because Eric, I can feel it coming on. There are dwarfs in the super dwarf reticulated python. Or there's
hold on, I'm gonna cancel that. Hold on,
I'm gonna cancel your fucking face here in a minute.
I wish you would cancel that big ass forehead.
Which one? Mine or his? The motherfucker takes his hat off and it's shit the size of the state he lives in.
All right, anyhow, let's get back on subject.
There are morphs in super dwarf reticulated pythons.
One true super dwarf morph.
Okay. So, all right.
And
that didn't work the way I wanted it to. So you're talking about pure locality, right? Because I've gotten this question a lot, and I'm not 100% sure that I'm answering it correctly. So let me explain. So you asked me the question, right? Is there genetics in the super dwarf reticulated python? I answered no. If you're working with 100% localities, 100% Kalatoa does not have any mutations that we know of yet because we've just started working with it. But if you cross in the mainland blood in the dwarfs, yes, there are, they've worked in pied at this point. There is a pied dwarf reticulated python, and they're on the verge of 100% super dwarf being available, but that's not a pure locality.
Canceled. There'd never be such a thing as 100% pure super dwarf more other than the Anery. It's impossible.
Okay. No, you're right, because 100% true would be 100% Kalatoa, Campeo, whatever the fucking locality would be. So no, there is no true super dwarf outside of Anery. But man, them Anerys are badass, huh? I seen one with my eyes the other day.
But yeah.
All right, next question, unless somebody else has another question.
Yeah, come on, Levi. Where's the arguments?
Yeah, where are the arguments?
I was really hoping that would spark one, but I didn't. Yeah.
I didn't even hear that question, so I'm not even go back to it. So
because he got his nose rubbed in the carpet where he peed real fast right there.
What?
I was using a metaphor.
Anyways, all right. So next question, right? Let's get into your venomous collection. What's your favorite venomous snake that you keep right now? Put them on the spot.
Probably the Gaboon vipers.
Why?
Because they're fat like me.
Fair enough. That's a badass species.
Fat and deadly. And depending on how this rhino viper goes, I mean, because rhino vipers are a little bit finicky. Me and Chris were having this talk the other night about them.
I was there.
But Ronnie already had it. I would say Cobra, but the one Cobra just wants to kill me.
I thought it was going to be Forest Cobra.
No,
I actually thought he was going to pick the rhinoceros viper he just got.
No, it's not my favorite yet.
Bro, that thing is sexy. What do you mean? That is my favorite. If I had a venomous snake and that was in my collection, I'd be like, the rhinoceros right now.
How? Why? You don't even know the damn thing.
What'd you say?
I said, how? Why? You don't even know the damn thing yet.
I'm doing my research. I'm still doing my research. That's why I haven't bought anything yet.
Anyways, moving on. I see what Eric said. I'm to hell with.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Anyways,
Eric's basing his favorite animal upon his knowing of his animals, not because it looks cool, but because he knows that animal.
No, I'll be honest. I'm waiting to see the thing thrives or kicks the bucket.
If the what?
I'm waiting to see if the rhino thrives or kicks the bucket because, like I was telling you, rhinos are a finicky species compared to gaboon. They're not as vipers. You got your parameters got to be closer.
Okay, but what's so hard to keep? Why is it so hard to keep a rhino?
Because everyone thinks that you got to keep them hot, like everything else, and you got to keep them the humidity up high where it's not. You keep them drier and you keep them at a lower temperature.
So we touched this in the last live. Eric, tell us more about your forest cobra. You had mentioned that damn cobra is always trying to kill you.
The monocle cobra tries to kill me. Forest cobra runs away.
I thought it was okay. So anyway, the monocle cobra. Why does your monocle cobra try to kill you?
I don't know. All I do is love it and give it food and stuff, and it just doesn't like me.
Fair enough. Now let's ask a serious question, right? I don't know if I addressed this on the other live, and if I did, we'll move on from it. Do you think that animal is going to stay that way forever just because that's the way it's built, that its wiring just says, hey, this big red blob of human is just not okay to me? I don't like it, and I never will.
Considering it's a 4-foot adult albino, yeah.
Okay. Did that say? Is that the one that came from a sketchy background?
Did come from a sketchy background. I just don't know what happened before or like when he had it. It just I got it and it was psycho because he had too many close calls with it, and that guy's really good at taking care of his animals. He's a friend of mine, and he just knows I'm dumb enough to deal with stuff that doesn't like me.
So let's bring the pit bull world in, and we're going to bring the pit bull world and the snake world in because those two.
Fair warning: I bred pit bulls for over 10 years.
Okay. No. I'm not against pit bulls. I spent a good majority of my younger life working with them too. I had red nose, I had blue nose, both purebred that I bred, and they were fucking amazing dogs. Trust me, I will legitimately throw hands with somebody over pit bulls. But the two get compared a lot, right? So one question I was asked that
Hey Gio, that's why I got rid of my wife.
What?
Read the next one. I see what you highlighted.
Okay.
So they say a pit bull that's been a fighting pit bull can't be rehabilitated. You can never trust the dog again. Blah 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 blah. We both know that yes, there is some truth to that. It takes a special individual to be able to rehabilitate that dog, and there are certain things that
what it comes down to is each animal is its own individual personality, whether it's forgiving or whatnot or whatnot. Just like human.
Do you think the same of snakes? Do you think you could say the same for? We'll even hone it. We'll hone it down to cobras and reticulated pythons, right?
Yeah, I've been bit by. Listen, I'll be honest. Out of all the snakes and stuff I've had, I've been bit by more ball pythons than anything.
So you think even coming out of a shit situation, you could rehabilitate a retic back to? Of course, we're going to exclude the male during breeding season because we all know this as fact. Once it's an asshole, it's always an asshole. That's testosterone.
Yeah, look at Levi.
So is that just the male retics? They're just assholes?
Yeah, it's like
I think there's a couple species that are like that. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure about the scrubs or anything like that. And the berms that I've all bred, I've never had issues with, except for the one wild caught berm I owned that didn't like me either. But I don't know. There's something about retics that whenever they smell them pheromones of a female ready to breed, that puts them in this different, state of mind. And some of them. Let me clarify that. I've seen a couple that stay chill, but I've seen some that are only crazy during breeding season, and I've witnessed a handful that once they hit that maturity and they're around females that are like that, they're just nutcases.
So they can be rehabilitated, though. You think you could take a retic that's been in an absolute shit situation, is extremely cage defensive, what people would consider to be aggressive, and turn that into a pet available snake?
You can't necessarily say pet available because a lot of the quote unquote cage aggression is actually feeding responses.
Is it? I heard it was actually territorial.
I'm going to say feeding responses. I've never seen anything that was territorial, honestly. And depending on how if you get an animal as a baby and you work with it, there's a lot. You'll see differences from getting somebody else's adult owned. Like I've had babies that I raised up to adults that I could just open up the enclosure, reach as long as they're not looking at me, and gonna see my hand move and think, hey, food. I could reach in and lightly tap them a couple of times and then grab them and pick them up. No issues. Whereas I've gotten a couple off breeder size ones off a friend, and if I didn't use a hook to get them outside of their enclosure, I was 10 to 1 going to take a bite. It's all on. They're very. Trying to think what the word is I want to use for this. Once they get set in a routine, that's pretty much what they kick in.
Yeah, because I would argue that snakes aren't territorial. Would you? I mean, territorial animals are going to die where they live. Snakes are more off to run the other way. Even in a life-threatening situation, they're going to turn around and run. They're going to survive. They're surviving.
I'm not going to argue that because I think there is such thing as territorial. I mean, I'm going to say forest cover is more of a territorial thing.
I don't know enough about them, but would you argue that they would stand and fight for their home? That they're going to die where they live?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So
the majority of them, yeah, they're pretty standoffish snakes for the most part.
Yeah, I would argue that. I okay. I've seen it with the cobra where people have come up on them and they stood right there waiting for somebody to do something stupid.
Eric, I got a question, but this was brought up a while back. I want to know what you would say. If you had the money right now to buy an indigo or a wama, which one would you buy?
A what?
Wama.
Wait. To me, the viably answer this. I need to know which indigo, Eastern or Western.
Oh, fuck, here we go.
Or Mexican.
Either or. What do you prefer?
I prefer the Easterns.
Okay.
I would definitely go with an indigo.
That's what I said.
Because, I mean, the colorations on a lot of them are just amazing. And, like, yeah, they can be they can be a handful for a while at first, but as long as you get them in a routine and stuff, they usually end up being pretty mellowed out, and they're just great snakes.
All right, hold on, time out.
Green snake.
I'm gonna pull a Chris out of my ass here.
No, you did it the wrong way. Chris does it sideways.
Oh. Anyways, Chris, what the hell is a wama?
Wama python, right?
Woma.
Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
How are you going to compare? Hold on, time out. So that wasn't even the question. First of all, I want to know who the hell is trying to compare a Woma python to an indigo. Yes, they have similarities, but
he said money wasn't an issue. Which one would I choose?
Yeah, well, a Woma is a couple $100 freaking dollars, and indigo is $1,500. The question was indigo versus Karibo.
Oh, there it was. Yeah, my bad. Karibo. I couldn't remember. I thought it was Wama. My bad.
And again, I'll even specify.
And then again, hey, since Levi wanted to be a jerk and correct you on that little mishap on Woma, it's not Karibo, it's Karibos.
Whatever.
But there's some beautiful Karibos though out there too.
Yellowtail or blacktail? You got to pick one or the other. Can't have both.
See, Nana's even said indigo.
Blacktail.
My man, coming through clutch. Absolutely.
Definitely.
So, Chris, tell us a little bit about the indigo snake. Why are you so obsessed with it?
Because he eats snakes and it can stand getting bit by venomous.
So can king snakes.
I was gonna say,
so can king snakes, but just the coloration on the indigos are just phenomenal. I just like, bro. Honestly, when I look at a snake and I see the iridescence, I really do my research on them because I just like the way they look.
Did you know
and if I like it so much, I know I'm gonna handle that thing, take care of that thing, show it off. You know, that's what I do with all my snakes. That's why I picked them. That's why they're the colors they are. Because I fall in love with the color.
And the fact of the matter is that the indigo does get a little bit bigger than king snakes is nice.
Well, I was gonna say, did you know that there is a equivalent snake? It's just not the same size out there available.
No, I did not.
Because the most important thing to discuss about the indigo snake here is preservation. That is a protected and endangered species.
Oh, yeah.
So anybody that's watching this, if you decide, I want an indigo snake, you can't just go pick them out of the wild. Do not buy a wild-caught one, because if it was wild-caught, it's illegal. And there are massive restrictions put on that snake. Massive. If it's in a state...
Especially depending on where you live on.
Yeah. So this guy, contrary to popular belief, You can't own them in Texas without the license and permit to keep them because they are endangered and protected. And if they're in any of the 50 states, as of, I forgot what year it was, along with the black milk snake, which is its like distant cousin, they get about the same size, similarity in nature. If it's in the state, it stays in the state. You cannot import or export them, and they have to be captive bred.
Now, that guy who has them available.
Ooh. That being said, did you know that it has an equivalent snake that is openly available, not protected, and is one of the most popular snakes in the entire hobby?
Are you asking me or Eric?
You.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to answer this question right here, which is why I'm doing my permits for my Rotarium, my certifications. Everybody says it's easy, it's just real quick, but no, it's not. It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
Yeah, 1 + 1 = 2, not 11.
And she's right. There is a difference between wants and being able to get. If I want something, I'm gonna get it. But if I want something that is like Levi was saying, then I'm gonna work for it. Obviously. But that's because I did my research. Just like my little crab back here.
There he goes talking about his crab again.
I'm not going to talk about him. I'm just saying, just like my little crab. That's all I said. Go on, Levi.
What do you feed him?
Bloodworms.
I just had to ask because I've never had crabs.
I know where you're going with this, Eric. You better shut up.
Where did you get crabs from, Chris?
I picked it up from a guy I met at PetSmart.
Were y'all hanging out in the bathroom or?
You dick. Shut up. Go ask another question.
I did
answer your dumb question.
It's not dumb. There's no such thing as a dumb question.
You're right, but I'm not answering that question. Oh my God, Gio, you too?
Yeah, everybody, bro. If y'all missed it, Chris announced on Instagram that he has crabs. So
from a guy at a pet store.
You know what? I'm gonna post a picture of him. You want me to take him out?
No, nobody wants to see your damn crabs, bro.
Calm down.
God, save that shit for OnlyFans. Gonna be a lot of people disappointed. Anyways, moving on. All right, Eric. Do you keep anything that's endangered or protected?
As long as my ex-wife ain't mad at me, I'm not endangered, so I'm safe.
So that I'm gonna say that as a no. You don't work with any endangered or protected species.
I don't think so. No.
So that does open up that opens up a really good, interesting conversation, right? What do we do for preservation? So we can all answer this question, but Eric, you'll start. What do you do to help preserve animals, right? The wild species that are out there. What is your active role in that? We all know the answer to this, but what do you do outside of keeping? Do you spread education? Do you work with local communities? Do you do snake relocation to prevent death?
I tell anybody everything I can, and like every year, every summer, like all the nice weather, I do get a bunch of random messages that this person's friend or somebody's family member or something needs snakes removed or something like that, and are terrified of them. And I go out there and do it. Like I've snake proofed my one from his parents' house because black rat snakes were getting in and all the time, and I was explaining to him, and they bought a hook. Her dad bought a hook off me, so that way if anything snuck around or got in, he could hook them and move them out of the way. Like he learned that much from me. I had phone calls from people saying that they seen a snake in a stump before from a tree that was cut down, and they thought they heard a rattle and wanted me to go check it out. And I went out and checked it out. It was just, again, rat snakes.
Okay. You said the black milk snake?
No, black rat snake.
Oh, black rat snake. Sorry, fucking rat milk. Same shit. I'm just kidding. Do they do the same thing as most colubrids do and rattle their tail, mimicking the rattlesnake?
Yeah.
My corn snake does that, even though it's not a rattlesnake.
Your corn snake's a colubrid.
Yeah, I know, but it rattles its tail. It's weird.
The only part I've never liked about whenever I had to rehome them is getting mussed on. Oh man, the rat snakes stink.
Bro, that's like here in Texas. We have the western rat snake, and when they're little, they mistake them for like a venomous snake. I don't know why. And I go over there and I try to pick it up. But it turns around and strikes, and it keeps striking. They think it's a coral snake, and it's not. Some people don't know reptiles.
Coral snake, yeah.
I'm not gonna say people are dumb and like don't.
Did you see that? Now we're speaking of coral snakes and whatnot. I think it was Chris Speed or whatever. He posted that picture of that blue. I want to believe it was a blue coral from out there, wherever he's at in that foreign country. Listen, can we put Geo backstage somewhere?
I wish. No, I'm joking. Right? All the shit he be talking.
All right, Chris. What do you do for preservation?
I'm sorry. What?
What do you do for preservation?
Preservation.
What
do you mean?
Like,
what do I do?
Preserving the wildlife, saving wild snake species.
Oh, you mean like networking? Like going to schools, teaching kids? Are you talking about that?
Yeah. Do you do?
Yeah, I'm actually trying to look into that because when my sons were going to school, I actually had to talk to them, talk to the principal about it, to go talk to their kids about the snakes that we have here. And Brody was all into it. He wanted to help me out because he wanted to show off his snake, of course. And I actually tried, dude. I honestly tried, but most schools here don't let us do that. And that's the sad thing about it, though, here, because we can't teach these animals about what these snakes are, the difference between the species and stuff like that. But I mean, that's as much as we can do here. I can't stand outside because people will freak the fuck out,
Yeah, but the horrible thing is, and just to use Levi and you guys' arguments earlier, and almost what kid doesn't have access, or person doesn't have access to a device with the internet, they can't pop up what's the native snakes of this state, and boom.
Are you an Android or iPhone owner? I'm not talking shit this time. What do you have? What type of phone do you have?
S22.
Okay. Did you know there's a feature on your camera that you can scan the picture? It'll tell you what species of animal you're looking at.
We're kidding, Jim.
So there's that too. Like, that's how open available technology is. Take a picture of it with your phone and scan it. My iPhone do the same thing, just differently. But
yeah,
cool.
Hey, don't judge my mom and dad,
bro. But when you say how many kids have access to the internet, have you seen the world now? Like every 2-year-old baby has a tablet.
Yeah, that was my point, sir.
I'm just like,
you're back in Eric's point here.
I was just like,
everybody has access to the damn internet.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there I'm seeing these kids running around. I'm like, wait a minute, man. I was 18 when I got my first cell phone, and then I had to get myself. And y'all running around with phones at 5 years old and shit. I'm like,
oh, you talking about Benji?
No, Benji still has a phone from when he was 5. Levi, what happened?
I honestly thought that when you said the first time. I thought you said a 5-year-old phone. I said, are you talking about Benji? I was like, what? I heard that wrong. My bad. Like I said, it's loud over here because my niece is having a birthday party and they're all screaming over there, so I can't barely hear you guys.
No, whenever I was a kid, we were still allowed to ride in the backs of trucks and stuff.
My generation was able to do that.
Bro, so this is
you ain't that old.
When Levi asked that question, this is why I did this for Brody. Because when I was showing Brody these snakes, so I'm gonna tell you the story. I got a ball python for a military morse, right? I got a Mojave female. That bitch came feisty. right? She
Where
came
do y'all
feisty.
find feisty fucking ball pythons from?
There is. It's like she literally like would strike when you put your hand in there. So I got bit, right? So I put her out. I put her in the tub, and then Brody comes in one morning, opens the tub, doesn't open it all the way, just opens it barely and sticks his hand in there like this, and she bit him, right? And I turned and I think I was on an Instagram live when that happened. I turned and I looked at him. I said, "What happened?" He's like, "It bit me. It has little bites right here on his finger." I said, "Oh, you're a little breeder now. You got bit." I said, "You're officially in." But that's what I'm saying. Like what I was saying about that story is that most kids don't have the education on how to handle these snakes or to properly open the tub all the way and then reach in from the back on the bottom pipe and when it's up like that. That's why you bring your hand around, bring your other hand around. So I
Yeah,
was
see,
teaching Brody, but after that, Brody didn't want to hold him anymore. He got scared. I had to get him back into it and be like, look, they're gonna do
for a
that.
while. I
Yeah,
remember you talking about that, and he was still like antsy.
yeah, he was all because they come in here, dude, and literally reach in there, no fear, grab them out, just take them out. Look, Dad, look, and bring them upstairs. Like, bro, go put it back. That's how
That's
they
what
were until he got bit.
Well, that's
my son's still that way with worms. I'll go down and pull out 10-foot worm and walk off with him. Like, where you going with my snake? He goes, it's my snake.
it depends species to species, but honestly, that's a great approach to have with most of them. Reach in there and grab them. You don't give them a chance to get defensive. You don't give them a chance to read what's going on. I mean, the retic, berms, the huge species break that rule because you have to read food motivation. But even down to an indigo and a king snake, the bigger species of kings, the best advice is just to go in and grab them. If you get bit after you grab them, it is what it is. But when you give them a chance to S up and start moving around and tracking on you, you're going to get bit because they're either going to get food motivated at that point or they're going to have another chance to react like, oh, shit, something's about to go down.
What is this, Sherry? Is this your YouTube channel?
Yeah, Sherry, the internet's for porn. Duh, you didn't know?
No, it's a link to how to get to your OnlyFans, Chris.
I don't know. If that's her link, go and follow her on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Show love. What we all do. We support each other. We lift each other up, not put each other down.
Yeah, Eric.
Dude,
But it's all good here.
I try
But
to
like that's why
fucking crane.
Hey Levi, that's why I say like I want to build a reptarian here because we really don't have reptiles here. Like people to teach kids here. Like you don't see. We used to back in the day. I want to say like I guess when reptiles started becoming more popular back in the day. I want to say I was like 12 when I got my first like rat snake, and then I
like
used to see them all the time. And then I had somebody teach me like actually talk to me like how to take care of the rat snake and what to feed it, and like that guy was good, but I don't remember his name, because I was like 12 years old. I don't remember names, bro. I was like, oh, cool, a snake. I was that typical that kid. Like I don't know what I'm getting myself into.
I gotta check the snake. I gotta look for peptide markers. Now that I'm home. Shut up, guinea pigs.
Hey Eric, you said you have ball pythons, right? What are you breeding? Are you breeding this year?
Possibly. I don't know.
I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm kind of liking the collecting factor of it right now.
So okay, so what do you have in your collection for ball pythons? Like, what do you got?
Do you want just genes or do you want snake?
No,
what they are. I have acid, hurricane, blackhead, leopard, Mojave, ghost, hide, orange dream, pastel, calico.
What the fuck is this?
Spectre. I have chocolate. I have banana, black pastel, spider. I have cypress. I have mystic. I have lesser. I have a lot.
And the one in your hands, they want to know what's the one in your hand.
I know he wasn't in my hand, but it's a lesser het pied female I just picked up.
So out of all, yeah, there we go. Thanks, Wetmo. Now I feel included.
I wouldn't have done that for him, Whammo.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, listen to him.
Y'all ever seen that thing when a dumbass meets another dumbass and another dumbass? Now they're the dumbass trio. That's us. Anyways, all right, fine. I'll fucking entertain the ball python field here. Eric, what is your most anticipated pairing, and where are you going with it? Timeline does not matter here. What is your most anticipated pairing?
I don't forget now, but eventually down the road, I want to make a super blackhead hurricane clown.
Ooh, that sounds nice.
So let's do this, right? When you think about ball pythons, what pairing gets you the most excited?
Hold on. I'm gonna do a cancellation. What does Levi think about ball pythons?
We're not going to go there because we're not going to bash other breeders and other snakes. That's not what we do.
We're not bashing. I want to know what you think.
We're not talking down. We're not.
All right.
I have no opinion on the matter. Eric,
Let's just say Levi don't like ball pythons.
I didn't say I don't like ball pythons. I just don't have an opinion on the matter. Anyways, moving on. Eric, what gets you excited? What wakes you up in the morning and you go, damn, I am super excited to pair this snake to this snake and make this snake right now in your collection?
Burmese.
I already knew that. I knew he was going to say that.
All right,
I was going to answer for him.
Let's specify that down. What about your ball python projects?
The fact that they're going to pay for more Burmese and venomous snakes.
Okay. So oh, sorry.
Yeah, these are just going to be the income to fund everything else I want to do.
Eden, it's a well-known fact. I think they're a bunch of fucking pet rocks, and they're
hey, Eden, he would have to have a following for it to go down, wouldn't he?
Motherfucker, I'm pretty sure I got more followers on Instagram than you do.
I'll find out right now. Let me look.
Oh, hold on. No, I lied. He has more because he's got like 15 different accounts.
Who?
Eric.
2.
Does he have more than you?
I have 2 accounts.
Oh, yeah, but that don't count. You can't add them together. We're talking about which one's your reptile page. Eric's Exotics, right? You got 538 followers.
Oh, you might have me beat by a couple.
Levi has...
I don't even remember what I'm at. 467.
467 followers. But that's because both of y'all don't promote yourselves anyway.
Hold on. I just got a question, Levi. How long have you been doing IG?
I've been on a little less than 2 years.
I got about a year in.
And you only have 500 followers? I've only been on here for a year.
I just get on IG to harass people like you guys.
I don't post. I barely fucking post. I don't hit the algorithm. I don't do anything special.
But like, okay, Eric, so you're doing the US art, but you're whatever like people buy for your merch, that money goes to the art. But how are you promoting yourself to sell that merch?
I just started making that merch.
Yeah, you made what? You made it. You started making it what? I want to say maybe 4 months ago.
Stickers, maybe, but like other stuff just recently.
I'm just saying, like that's why we should promote more.
Yeah, everything that I sell off that merch store gives the US art. Not a penny's going to go into my pocket.
Like Levi just got a logo. I understand Levi, but that's why I want him to promote himself more. Because this guy, man, like Levi, by himself, man, he could do badass things, but together, shit.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm following in the footsteps of a very specific breeder. He's a huge name, really huge name, in my opinion. And well, no, not in my opinion. He's a big name. A lot of people know about him. He has one social media page, and he's not that old.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Who?
Are you talking about Tyler?
No, not Tyler.
You failed.
Well, because he said that a while back, so I thought it was Tyler again.
No. Everyone always asks, all right, fine. I'll get more in depth about myself here, and this will be one of the only times I do this because I don't like talking about myself. It's not what I do.
Too bad. I talk about myself all the time.
Okay, well, your head's the size of the state you live in. But anyways, moving on. I'm following a lot in the footsteps of somebody by the name of Eric Lee at Eric Lee. He doesn't have a huge social media following. He doesn't have multiple platforms. Doesn't have stickers. Doesn't have fucking shirts. Doesn't have all the fancy hoo-haws that everyone else does. And I'm not
Doesn't have
talking
that big ass forehead.
but, yeah, he's bald just like we are, bro. He's got a big ass forehead too. Shut up.
Not
Anyway,
that big.
bro, take your hat off before you talk shit about somebody's forehead.
I'm
Who's
not
talking?
I didn't get on here with a hat without a hat. No.
Bro, where'd you buy that hat? Fucking Baby Gap?
Damn, Mr. Clean wannabe. Oh, here we go. Stealing crutches stuff.
Hell yeah, that shit was great. Anyways,
Be original. Get your own material.
For real. Munchkin.
who are you talking to?
He's not even a munchkin.
Hey,
I
he's
see
a
the
Oompa Loompa.
Yeah. I seen a picture of him down at Darian's. He's a Oompa Loompa.
Wait, you stole that one for Darian, Eric.
No, I seen a picture of him down there with fucking Kratos before he passed away on his shoulder. Levi
Oh, that's
Oompa
right. I
Loompa.
forgot you did do that.
Yeah, so quit talking smack.
Anyways,
Don't you have some baby oil to put on or something?
I mean, I could probably get some viewers in here. Some more
all the
viewers.
wrong fucking viewers. Anyways,
I mean, we were already 2 hours in. I mean, we had a lot of controversy here. So
I'm following in his footsteps. If I wanted to be like anybody in the industry, I wanted to mirror them to a T, it would be Eric Lee. Because again, a lot of people, anybody that mentions Retic should know who Eric Lee is. And if you don't, have a seat, sit down and educate yourself. Because Eric Lee and Garrett Hartle are of equivalence as far as education, respect, knowledge, the love for these animals, the protection of these animals. But again, Eric doesn't have any of the flashy things. He doesn't talk about himself. He doesn't do anything to promote himself. It's when he speaks, that's what promotes it. And that's what I want to do. When I speak, I want to be known for my knowledge. I don't want stickers. I don't want shirts. I don't want anything, to be honest. And it's nothing against anybody else. It's just I don't want to be that. I don't want to be Jay. Not in a bad aspect, but I don't want to be up there with him. I don't want to be on fucking Facebook every day, on Instagram. You know how much fucking of a grind that shit is?
Well, yeah, well, not for him. He don't do it.
Okay, and he did. So did Brian Barche. So did Garrett Hartle. So did all of them.
Hey, Chris, he has a hard road to follow. He said he wants to be known for knowledge. He better start reading some books.
what are you talking about, Levi?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, Levi has a lot of knowledge, bro. Like when we're not on here, we're always talking about something for the show.
You know, Levi, he's not like you. He ruins the joke.
I'm sorry, bro. I just keep it real.
You're fired. I quit.
Okay. So, man, here, I said this live was going to be lit. And fucking, I got to outdo Hutch with his blockbuster. So, something I have considered and I'm strongly playing with, and I may or may not be in talks with some people about this, I may actually get back into ball pythons because dickheads like this, and especially shout out 100, like 30% goes to Chris and then 70% goes to Emilio. Watching Emilio's passion for this and the fire that burns behind his eyes, and thinking about some of the morphs I do enjoy that I want to work with, that I don't give a shit what people's opinions on them are, I might actually get back into a couple. I'm not going head in like everyone else, but
so that means Chris is 30% of the dickhead. Emilio's the other 70%. Got you.
No.
Oh,
no. I'm changing it around for what you said. I'm going to use it against you. You said dickheads like his. He goes, you're like 30% Chris and 70% Emilio. Emilio, you're 70%
not bald. Chris is fucking bald. So
I'm bald.
I said Emilio's not.
Oh yeah.
Now, pay attention.
Boso's bald, and we keep it real. That's what you know. What that means? All the bald guys are real.
You just insulted a lot of people in the hobby. I am no longer associated with these guys. Sorry.
He says, "All right." Dial tone at the end.
And Eden, that's a maybe. I have
Crit,
way more colubrids to collect first.
you can't even go there because these people don't even know what. Half of the people probably in the chat or two don't even know what a dial tone is.
Well, damn, bro, that's messed up.
Think about it. When's the last time you heard a dial tone?
Yeah, that's true. Payphone back in what 1980 something.
When's the last time you seen a payphone? Because I sure in the hell haven't seen one in a long time. They seem to have disappeared.
The last time I saw a payphone was back in '95, bro.
I saw a payphone the other day. There's one attached to the courthouse. Anyways.
Yeah. Do either of you guys remember having a pager?
Yes.
I remember whenever I had a pager that you could text on. I thought that was cool as shit. Now I got a pager I can text on and call people and watch porn.
Party line. He's a rotary phone homie.
Oh man.
Oh,
Dude,
I know what you're talking about.
I want to take and put a rotary phone in front of people and see how many people I know how to use it.
For the ones that used to use in the army, you gotta come in.
That was the power.
Yeah, but those are like direct connection phones though.
Yeah.
Those are like walkie-talkies basically with a fucking manual power. You weren't like dialing out like you do with a rotary phone. Get one of these new age kids to text on a flip phone. It's hilarious.
Bro, you know my dad loved the flip phone. He was like, "Man, I would hope they bring it back," and they did. They brought back the Razor.
There's nothing more satisfying. There's nothing more satisfying than slamming a phone shut when you're mad. There's nothing satisfying about "fuck you."
Hey, listen. You know what's satisfying though? You're driving down the road on the highway, and you're like, "Oh yeah, go screw yourself." Shit, I gotta buy another phone.
Oh wow, Bitsy.
Better take a picture. That's gonna be worth money. It's an antique.
We gotta see
I was
that.
gonna say,
That'd be funny though. Well, what I say? So what? I guess this all gets to is that technology is always evolving.
Where the hell did you get that from?
From all of this, like you have
I was
not
talking
noticed?
about rotary phones, pagers, cell phones. Where the hell have you been in the last 5 minutes?
I know, but that's like one side of technology to the other. Like,
well, go back. Think about it. Look at all the phones that you had since you were a kid. Look at where technology is now.
I didn't have a phone when I was a kid. Damn it!
I've said that like 15 times, legitimately throughout this live.
When? I didn't hear you say shit.
We were talking about tablets and how far technology's come and how I get irritated when certain places aren't up to date. Like if a place doesn't take Apple Pay, I get irritated. It's 2022, bro.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck Apple Pay.
People are smart and they don't even bother with Apple.
I don't even use Apple Pay. I hate Apple Pay.
Why do you hate Apple Pay?
Because it's stupid.
How is it stupid?
Why would you pay with your phone? What if somebody can get all your information off your phone? That's stupid.
Okay, hold on. Here we fucking go. All right.
No, stop.
No.
This is a Reptile Live, not a...
Yeah, this is a Reptile Live. We'll say that shit for another time. Let's go. That's another fucking question.
I can steal your information now, you dumbass. Anyways, moving on. God, you're one of those... Oh, man, I can't... Somebody put the host in the back.
Okay, hold on. I was going to put Levi backstage.
I was waiting for it.
Whatever you say, Darian. Anyways, moving on. You're right. It's a reptile hobby, and we're here for Eric, not Chris. Eric, you keep Burmese. You've kept retics. You keep venomous. You keep ball pythons. What else do you keep in that fancy reptile room of yours there?
Just tegus right now.
You don't have any colubrids, anything native, nothing else.
Can't own native here.
No leopard geckos, no African
No,
fat tails, anything just random off the wall that you keep for shits and giggles.
no, that stuff's too little. If I wanted to hold something that little, never mind. But anyhow, I don't deal with small lizards and stuff. Like lizard wise, it's like Tegu's the smallest lizard I've ever owned. Other than
Okay.
that, it's been black throats and Nile monitors, water monitors, alligators, crocodilians.
Do you plan on adding anything else in the future to get back into it?
Give me a couple weeks.
Why is it every time is give me a couple weeks, I'm gonna get something new?
I mean,
Get rid of that baggage.
I just got them before, and then this one just happened, and then it coincidentally happened to be somebody I knew that I got it from. So I'm like, all right, this works.
Nice. I wish we could own some of the species that she listed off here. We could own some, but not all of them. So what you're getting at here is you're a bigger animal person, right? So like if you own a dog, you wouldn't own a fucking little Chihuahua. You'd probably own like a German Shepherd.
Pit bulls.
Pitbull. So you like the bigger species of everything. What stopped you from owning the smaller reptile species? Because I know, like, let's say African fat tails, right? Small lizard, but they're pretty badass. Cooler than a leopard gecko, in my opinion.
Yeah, my 6 foot, 400-pound ass is gonna look real cool walking around with something the size of my pinky finger.
This is true. Okay.
Like my thing is, listen, don't get me wrong, because I've been actually looking at other stuff, but it depends on the possibilities of the species and the combinations I can make anymore.
Okay. So if I could give you 2 imported berms right now, adults ready to breed, would you take them? If you wouldn't, why not?
Give me as many berms as you want.
Okay.
I'll take them all.
I was gonna say, I don't see why he's not.
There's not a berm. Listen, there's not a Burmese python I probably wouldn't take, other than albinos.
Why? I love albino.
Yeah, well, why not albino?
When they're babies, they're nice looking. End of story. That's it.
They're what?
Okay.
As babies, they're nice looking. As adults, they suck.
Why? I think they're gorgeous.
They wash out. They get bland. That's why if I want that coloration, I'll stick with my hypogranites.
I was gonna say, have you ever seen a hypogranite in person, Chris?
Yeah, there's a 7'1" sitting right over there.
So
Have you ever seen one in person though, Chris?
So what happens if you
I got
need a
a
hypogranate with an
7'1" sitting right
albino?
over there. I got a hypogranite right there, and about 8 more downstairs.
Bust that one out. Let's go. Show us the difference between that one and albino.
I'm sitting down. No. I don't listen. You should know this right now. I don't show off a lot of my stuff.
I know. I was hoping you would buy in, but anyways. So what Eric's saying though is like, all right. So I'm not a huge fan of ball pythons anymore, for the same exact reason. Not that they're washed out, but they're fucking boring. Like Canova releases something, right, and it's cool. Like, yeah, okay, cool, but just another fucking ball python with a different coloration. Like
In ball pythons, the only albino combination I would own would be the ones that make the starburst. The lavender albino and leopards, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
I've heard the same thing. I think.
I think that's what the genetics are.
Here's another fact for ball pythons for me, right? And this is biased as fuck, 100%, because I keep multiple species. Eric, I think you're going to agree with this one, but a majority of the genetics that come out, I can go buy a single gene species of another snake out there that looks identical to that. Just you have to combine 7 different genetics to make this cool looking ball python, when in all actuality there's a colubrid, there's a berm, there's a retake, there's another snake out there that looks identical as a single gene. Like most of these crazy ass recessive combinations, I'm like, oh, that's cool. It looks like a single gene blood. Oh, that looks like a single gene king snake. Oh, that looks like a single gene retake. But again,
I want you to show me a king. Oh, hold on, stop. Now I'm gonna be a jerk. I don't want you to show me a king snake that looks like any kind of ball python combo.
Like the cotton candy combo.
Give me okay. So when I used that, there was a certain genetic. I can't remember what it was I saw. I would have to. It would have to be a combination of like Mojave and whatever that mimics exactly what my thought process was. I'm pretty sure it was a mosaic Florida king snake that I was using as a comparison for. It's a straight pattern. I was like, oh, cool. I can go get that king snake. Just the king snake's got more personality and attitude.
So you can compare one snake there for king snakes. That's a very shitty argument to have them species doing that. I expect better out of you.
You're just disagreeing because you want to disagree, but you can't tell me I'm wrong here.
I can tell you you're wrong about the king snakes. Yeah, I can. I just did.
And you wants to argue today.
That was the point in bringing them on. Remember?
I've kept king snakes, rat snakes, corn snakes, and stuff. So yeah,
I agree with
you eat it
Wemo.
back.
Each species has its uniqueness.
He said has two uniqueness.
Yeah, but I think I knew what he was trying to say.
It doesn't matter. We're going to
my
stick with
God.
what you agree with.
Swear to God, controversial on everything.
Hey, this is why you brought me on, right?
Even little minor, a letter, 2 words. 2 letters, sorry.
Even minor.
You see?
Just because it's just to mess with you.
See? Sorry, typo.
I just wanted to mess with him. I know what you meant. It's just fun messing with Chris.
Eric, so with all your animals, where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
I can
Forget
answer
5 because you've been doing this for so long.
Working and probably with about 1,000 animals.
And what are you going to do with them? You're not going to get a shop or something?
I'll never stop working a normal job.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'll never stop working a normal job, and I don't really want a shop for the fact that it doesn't matter. It'd be more overhead and stuff for me to pay if I'm going to do that. I'm a single person. I live in a 4-bedroom house, full basement, full attic. I have room. Not so much in the basement anymore, but I have room.
All right, Whammo, let me say this. Like, I was trying to prevent from all the shit talking that I just did. I really shouldn't have done it in all actuality because the truth be, ball pythons are cool. Again, I've said it multiple times. I'll say it again. They are the pillar of our game. There's not a more popular species. There's not.
Somebody do a snip out of this where he said ball pythons are cool just so you can never deny it. Every time he argues, we send it to him.
I've never not said that they're, well, yeah, to me, they're not. They're real. They're boring. But as far as like overall fat goes, they are cool because millions of people own them at this point. They've outdone the koi fish industry. There's multiple morphs, and people find deep enjoyment in it. At the end of the day,
we'll need a bigger house, Ronnie, because we're still gonna have a bunch of snakes.
At the end of the day, they're a pillar. They've made the game what it is today, and they will continue to change the game that we play in every single day.
I want to argue that.
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
You can't call ball pythons a pillar of our community, especially in the States, because we've been keeping natives and stuff for way before that.
Okay, and it wasn't as popular.
But they call something. Also, colubrids aren't popular. Rattlesnakes aren't popular.
Nowhere near as popular as ball pythons.
To call them the pillar would be contradictory to a lot of stuff. They're the pillar for Africa and stuff like that, yeah. Whereas like our stuff's pillar for like if you want to get specific to where or not. And you know what's crazy? If you get on Morph Market right now, last time I looked, it was like through all the regions there was 47,000 available snakes, roughly. 35,000 were in the United States.
And do you know what a majority of those are? Ball pythons.
I'm talking about ball pythons.
That's what I'm saying. It is the pillar of the game, bro. Like you're furthermore backing my statement at this point.
No,
you can't tell me that ball pythons are a pillar.
If there's a pillar, there wouldn't be so many available. Like, they would sell out a lot faster. It's going to hit, like, everyone talks about the markets and stuff like that, and all that. Everything goes down, and then it's going to go back up. Like, there's going to be a crash coming in the ball python market again.
Yeah,
but
there'll be a crash, but then it'll jump right up above everything else like it always does.
Like, pay attention. It's just like clothing styles. Mm-hmm. Every 70 years, they cycle.
Okay, so on that subject, what do you think the next species that's going to overtake ball pythons? If it happens, because I don't think it's going to. I've been talking shit about this for a long time. People argue colubrids all day, and as a colubrid keeper, I beg to differ.
That's a rough one, honestly, depending on... Colubrids are picking up, though. But it depends on what comes out and is, like, new and exciting. Like, colubrids are picking up because people are finally realizing the amount of variation of morphs there is out there for them.
With colubrids?
A lot of species.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was going to say, there's a lot.
I'm probably gonna step into colubrids and get some hognose.
There you go, buddy.
That's a cool species.
I know why you're only going with hognose, because they're rear fang venomous.
Yeah, because I want them to roll over and play dead.
Because what?
I'm gonna harass them until they roll over and they play dead.
Oh yeah, okay, dude. That's exactly why I got one my first time, and it used to do that until it got tamed and it stopped doing it.
Ronnie, at this point, I don't have a single one that does that.
I was sitting there. I was at that show I went to where I met Tyler. The guy that talks about balls here. I went the guy that I know locally that I'm friends with it. We both been buying off the same guy for I don't know how many years when it comes to a lot of stuff. The guy's been like a mentor for both of us. But I was sitting there looking at some of his hognose stuff. I'm like, yep. I'm like, I gotta walk away. He goes, why? I'm like, I'm gonna spend more money I don't have. He just kind of laughed at me. And I'm sitting there and I was talking to Helljack and his buddy. I don't know the guy with all the tattoos, but he was sitting there and he's like, he was trying to buy one off him. I'm like, I told him, I was like, you might as well not even do that. You're doing this as a business. If you're gonna buy one, you're gonna buy the opposite sex down the road. Then if you buy the opposite sex down the road as a baby, you have to wait them years to grow up. You might as well buy a pair. He goes, no, and he's talking about one, and like Hilljack looks at me, he goes, go over there and get him to buy a pair. I'm like, challenge accepted. I walked over there, and 10 minutes later, I'm like, look, I was like, you're gonna buy this one right here.
Bam.
Where's my he ran away. Damn it, I missed it, rat. I was gonna shoot with the airsoft. Air rifle. But yeah, that's another thing. But whenever I'm like, if you buy this pair right beside them, this male and the female, that are het for the genes that's in that one, you're already ahead of the game. Even though they're hets, you're going to produce what you want. I was like, and you already have a pair that's up to size. I walked away, and they're like, did you give them the buy? I'm like, yep. And I was like, I didn't even get a part of the commission.
All right, Eric, let's further jump into this one. Outside of the hogs, what other colubrids would you or do you plan on owning?
Indigos, Grebos. There was another one. I'm gonna have to look it up because I think I have to save it on my phone. It was something I had to look it up because I seen it in a video when I want to say I'm right with his name being Chris Speed. They were out running around in the jungle and stuff out there wherever he's from, and it's a species of rat snake. And he says he goes, out of all of them, he goes, like, he ever come across, he just reaches up and grabs them, and they were real pretty. He goes, they never bite, and like
Now you done piqued my fucking interest. A rat snake that don't bite. That breaks the rules, man.
It was on one of his last few videos. Then after he said that, he came across like one or two more, and the last one was jumping at him, but the other ones didn't even bother. Like he goes, usually they don't even care.
All right, Ronnie, I'm about to break a lot of rules. I'm gonna piss some people off with this one. Brace for impact. You don't have to brumate your colubrids.
What did you say?
Said you don't have to brumate your colubrids.
I hear that too, bro. I hear you don't have to. You can, but if you do it the right way, you're supposed to.
This conversation that we just had on another live I was at, another guy that breeds colubrids only drops his colubrids down a handful of degrees, not as much as other people do.
Yeah, I was going to say, so what you can do with colubrids, and this is proven. So this guy's not on social media, otherwise I bring him on, and his health is declining every day. But he's been breeding colubrids for well over 40 years. Brumation is optional. First and foremost, you're not going to be as successful as somebody that brumates just because you're mimicking the wild.
Oh, no.
The alternative is to just drop your temps. So what I'm going to try this year, because I went into full brumation last year, I'm going to keep everything that needs heat on heat, obviously keeping their ecosystem where it needs to be, but I'm just going to leave the colubrids alone and let them go through a natural cycle here in Arizona. And if I'm successful this year, cool. If not, I'm going to stick with it. These animals adapt. They change. They evolve. Every colubrid minus my locals, which my locals I don't need to brumate because they don't fucking brumate here. Damn summer year round, which furthermore proves my point because Arizona doesn't really cool down. It stays a moderate temperature. Where was I going with that? Yeah, so I'm going to see if they evolve. I'm going to see if they change and they adapt to their surroundings like the Tegus in North Carolina did. They survived. They weren't supposed to be able to, but they survived.
So are you saying Tegus don't have to brumate?
I don't know about Tegus. What I'm saying is they survived. They evolved, being able to survive in North Carolina winter. Where they're from, it shouldn't be possible, but they figured out a way to do it. They figured out a way to stay alive. I'm sure my corn snakes will figure out a way to breed.
See,
hell, corn snakes are found in Florida. It doesn't get that damn cold there, does it? I know it gets like cold for a few days maybe, but it doesn't stay consistently cold.
But you see, I know it gets down in like the 50s and 40s.
I see what they're saying about brumation, but like you're saying, Levi, they evolve, they grow accustomed to the habitat. So I see why you say, or why most say that they don't need to brumate. You can still, go year round. But I don't know. That's just another one of those like conversations that, yeah, you got 50-50 yes, 50-50 no, 50-50, see like they can adapt to their habitat if they don't brumate, so I mean
okay,
there's
how
like
so?
Huh?
I was answering Fry. How so? How is it beneficial to the animal? Burning question, because that's
It'd make a cream for that burn.
I just hear that it just helps the females I guess have more eggs sometime or something like that. Their clutches are bigger.
From what I understand, it's also something that helps for I'm trying to think of how I want to phrase it. It makes the reproductiveness of the male a little bit more potent.
I've heard that too, but I've also heard that that's been successful and just not. So obviously in the freezing states, you still have to keep heat on them to even brumate them because it gets so low that it'll kill them. But in the states that are warmer, I've heard that, yeah, it's a little beneficial, but it's still the same. We have the same amount of, whether we have a hot summer or a cold year or a hot year, our colubrids out here in Arizona still manage to breed the same. It doesn't change it it doesn't change it enough to be like, oh shit, okay, yes, you do have to brumate them, or no, you don't have to brumate them.
And another reason, like, I've been thinking about getting some colubrids is because I can leave them in the house and not worry too much about temperature.
And overall, most colubrids, obviously, there are going to be some that break this rule hard, big time. So actually, let me rephrase this to begin with. Most New World colubrids are forgiving. Old World colubrids, not so much. They have some very delicate requirements for the most part, just because of where they're from in the world. But if you're dealing with the North American species of the colubrid, they're super forgiving, man. They're from all parts of the country. There's not a lot that goes wrong with them, but they're not for everybody. Colubrids can be a real pain in the ass, and that's why I just don't see that. The thing about ball pythons, Eric, and why I don't see any market ever overtaking them, because they're not a pain in the ass. They're the most simple, easiest to take care of snake. Most of them don't have attitude problems, because even like the species that are comparable to them, you're going to get tagged a handful of times because they got a fucking attitude problem. And they're known for that attitude problem. Like, people compare children's pythons for ball pythons. Like, if you're prepared to get tagged a whole bunch of times, they got fucking attitudes on
Um,
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you.
them. And then, I mean, to add on to the beneficials of brumation, right? So when you're in an if you can't naturally brumate them, if you can't live somewhere where it's a natural brumation cycle for them, we'll get into like that incubator versus maternal versus manual or mechanical incubation, right? So where you have an incubator and you incubate your eggs on a regular basis, I'm seeing, such and such went wrong with my incubator and I lost my clutch. Oh, it got too hot. Oh, it got too cold. Oh, the humidity dropped too low. Oh, this went wrong. Oh, that went wrong. Just like that with colubrids, you see it all the time. People will try to lie to you and tell you, brumation's super simple, it's super easy. If you're doing it naturally, yeah, if the weather does it for you, absolutely. Leave them in your garage, do what you do, super simple, right? But if you have to mechanically do that and something goes wrong and you're using a fridge and the temperatures plummet, you just lost your entire collection. Something went wrong with that fridge. It's a hot day. I remember this one specifically. I'd have to find the YouTube video. Day got way too hot. Fridge shit out in the middle of Texas. In the wintertime, it pulled in Arizona. It was damn near 85 degrees outside. The inside of that fridge was 102. Killed his entire collection. So beneficial, I would argue not so much, because mechanically a lot can go wrong. And it's not just a lot, it's an entire collection of that species you're talking about. I personally suffered the loss of a snake due to mechanical failures during my last brumation cycle. It was a very anticipated project for me too. That one sucked. That hurt. I know plenty of colubrid breeders in Texas, Chris, that use Texas's weather naturally. There's a lot of colubrid breeders out there in apartments that have a handful of colubrids that'll go stick them in the outside closets and leave them there for the 3 months, bring them back in.
Oh, we're on TV, guys. Hell yeah. Appreciate that, Ronnie.
ready for my
love,
close
bro.
up, Mr. DeVille? TV.
Hey, that's love, bro. Always so check it out. No lie. After we do these lives,
I hope it's a
I
small
always get
TV, though.
screenshots of us on their TV.
Hey, I hope it's a small TV, though, so I look skinnier.
Well, put me on that TV because it might make me a little skinnier.
You figure with all that baby oil, you don't have to worry about being skinny.
All right, Eric, I'm going to hit you with a wrap-up question. I feel like we're chasing our tails at this point. You ready for this one?
Chris did it.
We're going to bring the heat on it. This might start a whole nother topic, another discussion, but here we go. Are you with or against U.S. ARC, and why?
Why would you ask that question if you're not looking at my screen?
I know. Hold on. Hear me out for a second. I know plenty of people that have U.S. ARC shirts just because they wanted to support for the Lacey Act temporarily. Then they flipped right back to the original script and they're totally against them.
And I agree with Levi on that one.
So
Yep.
trust me, I'm opening this up for future lives because me and Chris are going to host somebody that's going to probably have the opposite opinion of what you have.
I'm not going to flip the script because they've already helped out in my situations with the Burmese and big snakes. And then they just helped out with this last one that just happened. And if you guys don't want to if people don't want to keep reptiles, hey, don't support them. Sell me your collection at a wholesale cost. I'll gladly buy it.
And the proceed to donate to USR.
Yeah. I'll buy it. I'll sell it, make some money, and donate to USR.
Follow-up question for anybody in the comments that doesn't know. Who is USARK and how can they support?
If somebody says, I don't know, I'm leaving and never coming back to YouTube ever again.
How many viewers we got right now, Chris?
We got almost 15.
So we got 15 viewers. I mean, it's fair to assume that most of them are in our inner circle and keep reptiles. How do you know that number 15 has no idea what the hell anything in this hobby is and decided to follow us on Instagram and now he's on our YouTube?
I don't want to hear your BS, okay? You just sit there and be quiet, Mr. Clean wannabe.
Who are you talking to?
Levi. You got a hat on.
Oh.
I can't tell you that. He's the one with the shiny ass head right now. Looks like he stole some of your baby oil and rubbed it on his head.
Bro, I thought you were looking at me. That's why I was like, hold up. Who are you talking to, bro?
My head is shiny. But anyways, all right. So I'll answer my own damn question for anybody in the comments or anybody viewing this that does
Bro,
not.
but I
know
like that follow-up question for the people in the comments.
Start ending every single one. USARK is an organization designed to help and protect us against big government that are trying to rain down policies on us to restrict our keeping and ability to keep reptiles. And the USARK goes up beyond that now. They have now tethered in aviation. They will fight for any animal rights for keepers, period. We are a special minority of people that keep reptiles, and with specialness comes minority comes a small number. We need a voice for the voiceless. USARK, Phil Goss has stepped up and offered us that. They went a step beyond that and they developed a branch in USARK Florida. Right now, USARK Florida needs our help. You can go to usark.org. Hold on, sorry, I always screw this up.
It's not surprising.
Shut up, Eric.
Nope.
Nobody loves you.
Bro, see, I'm going to start doing something like that. When people send me pictures of us on their TV, I'm just going to make a little collage and be like, shout them out, dude. Like, start doing that.
Anybody that wants to support can go to usark.org. They are an official organization, so it's .org. And usarkflorida.org, or you can find the USARK Florida page through the homepage of USARK.
And
they are a critical need for us to, again, give a voice to the voiceless. Like I was discussing earlier in the live, we are a minority. No matter how many reptile keepers we have now, and no matter how many we have in the future, actual politics is always going to outweigh us. There are way more people involved in politics than there are reptiles. With that, again, comes our populace is overshadowed by all the rest of the BS. For example, the Lacey Act was buried in a few thousand-page document that was getting pushed through. Our snippet was about this big. Their snippet, huge. Things get buried. People don't give a shit about us. USARK saw that, was like, hey, we're going to step up. We're going to do something. So what I ask as a keeper, what I'm sure these guys and anybody else that keeps ask, support USARK. They continue the fight, and they will never give up. But they need our help. Lawyers, politicians, the fight, it ain't cheap, it ain't free. And if you can't support, that's fine. Nobody has to donate. Spread the word. Educate people. USARK is critical for us and other animal people.
So now that you're speaking on this matter, I think USARK should be talking to states individually also, and breeders in them states that are USARK supporters that may even be, regardlessly of it, like the bigger names, like the knowledge of the ones that they know are knowledgeable. For example, like even though he doesn't do a lot like crutch fields and that, like anything like that. And I think in each state, not only should they have their people that back them on how they regulate their animals and stuff, and like our hobby, but they should have an outside person too to give input from their studies and what they've learned and what they know. So that way they're seeing, hey, and then whoever makes it, the lawmakers or whatever, need to go and look it up and see if the differences that they're arguing are actually right or wrong. I think that would help a lot in a lot of the laws that they make.
Amen. Another thing to tack on top of that, do the research on your local politicians. This is a excuse and not an excuse, but a reason to look into your local politicians. I did it. I'm not a huge fan of politics. I don't care for it, but in this case, because it's close to home, I do. One of my local senators is against star keeping, is totally against us, pro PETA, and actually helped fund and fund the very first Lacey Act, and was the quickest to speak up and back the newest one. So she will be losing my vote and all of my local keepers' votes in this upcoming season.
Well, yeah, because if she got in there, bro, you know it's over for you guys.
No, she's in there now.
Oh, she's there now?
Oh, yeah, she has a seat.
Well, exactly. Then it's almost over for you guys.
And on a totally unrelated side note, because we're not monetized yet, that bitch is anti-gun, so she can kiss my ass. Anyways.
Hey, Chris, when you get monetized, you have to come back and edit that out. And that big-ass forehead.
We're going to have to edit this guy out in general. We're just going to have to delete.
Bro, if I got monetized, so if this was before getting monetized, I still have to edit this shit?
Bro, look at fucking cancel culture. They're going after Metallica for something they said in 1980.
Well, you might get strikes on it and stuff, but what you can always do is put it so only certain people can see it. Like the public,
we'll probably do that later.
Just so you know when you get to that point, because then they can't say, "Hey, this is out on the platform. People can see if you have it privately." But never delete anything you put out because you lose your hours from that.
Yeah,
video.
I heard that. But me and Levi had this thing: if we're gonna be real, just keep it real, bro. Just be who we are.
Well, Levi's definitely a real big bow head.
God damn you, Eric.
More like an 8 head.
Bro, take your damn hat off.
If you're a keeper, you're a breeder,
right
go
now?
support the USR Florida right now, especially right now. They need us more than anything.
And my forehead may be big. Look at the overall circumference of your head. God damn it.
My head's going to be this big to hold all this knowledge in.
Shit, you ain't lying.
And Levi, you can't even argue the fact you already complimented me. I got that screenshotted too, by the way.
I figured you'd never let that one down.
Yeah. Eric, can you put a disclaimer and it's all good? Yeah, I was gonna say Iron Dog, like we cuss on our live stream all the time.
Dog, you guys are normal people. This is like the hills have eyes, big forehead, dude. We gotta. Oh, wow. That's like a movie copyright violation type deal.
Bro, we brought the fat ass from Michelin Man on. It's okay.
For real, man. On YouTube.
Hey, shouldn't you be on the set of the new Willy Wonka movie?
Hey, bro, isn't there a fucking scene in Ghostbusters you gotta go film? You oversized fucking marshmallow.
I couldn't hear you because the baby oil bandits over there talking too.
I said, go sell me some tires. Hurry up.
Shit, I need tires myself. I should sell myself a pair.
I called you the Michelin Man. Shit.
So I think that's what I'm going to refer to Chris as from now on, baby oil bandit.
Fuck you, bro. I should have never called you that day.
And ask in an interview, Chris, what's your biggest regret? Calling Eric covered in baby oil in a sauna full of dudes.
Hell yeah.
And then that'll be his second biggest regret. We're telling them that was.
You know what? That's what I'll do. If you're watching me on your TV, DM me the pic. I'm gonna make a collage for you guys. I swear. Because dude, they're sending it to me right now as we're talking.
Hey, Gio, I don't want to hear you talk shit. You ain't up on here. You just sit there. I thought he was leaving an hour ago when you said you were leaving in 20 minutes.
No, you can't roll them around. It causes seismic earthquakes.
Who are you talking about, Gio? Gio says it's slow at work, so that's why he can see us. Hey, Gio's the #1 supporter, man. This guy,
Hey, listen,
he shouts us out everything, bro.
He can't say it's slow at work just because he's licking windows with a helmet on.
He's like Mitzi. Man, I love Gio and Mitzi, bro.
Oh, did you just call Mitzi a window licker? That's fucked up.
No,
I know,
what?
right? How are you gonna insult Mitzi like that? Like
I said Mitzi's always here supporting. I never said anything about window licking.
I just called Gio a window licker. He goes, he's just like Mitzi. I'm like, that's fucked up.
I was talking about how they're supported, bro. God dang.
Mitzi, you hear this shit? You better check your boy.
Forget you guys.
Mitzi gonna be like that baby off the dinosaurs. Not that mama crack.
It'd be like next week. Eric was banned from the show, along with Levi.
The first time. It won't be the first show.
I came back for more Sexin and Flexin, baby.
Careful, you're gonna fuck around and catch crabs too.
Whatever, dude. Fuck out of here with that noise. Mostly the Sexin. See,
you forgot to add the disclaimer and crabs.
Bro, you know why? You know why Sexin and Flexin? Because sex sells. Nah, I don't know why, really. Rob was like, you should call it Sexin and Flexin from KY Constrictors, your show. And I was like, hey, that's a fucking good name. You know what? I'll run with that. And that's how it came up.
Figure somebody from the lubrication district, KY Jelly, gave the baby oil bandit an idea.
Bro, I hate you right now. I so hate you.
I did promise comedy, so here it is.
No, you don't hate me. You love it. That's why you're laughing.
Bro, if they asked me to do a commercial for them, I would be like, put them on, slides right in.
The what slides right in?
That's how you got crabs. Just know that.
Oh my God, here we go. I don't have crabs.
There ain't gonna be no fucking sex anything.
I have a pet crab. Yes, not crabs.
Oh, that's what we're calling it now?
Oh my God. Yes, he's right there. You're pissing me off. Oh shit, I forgot to turn my camera around.
This is supposed to be the host, guys.
There
I'm
you
sorry.
He's right there.
He's just a little bit nervous about showing his crabs off. Yeah, that crab looks like it's kind of oily.
Shut up, bro.
Crabs brought to you by Sexin and Flexin.
Well, man. That's it. We out of here.
Give it a week to see some crabs and lobsters.
I'm like,
where'd you say you got it, Petco?
Guys, we out.
You got your crowd from the guy at Petco, right?
Hey, speaking of Petco, I don't know care if you want to end it or whatnot. I was up there before Chris sent me the link and was talking to me. They have a fancy ball python up there. I'm like, and it was in the hide and I couldn't see. It was dark. He said, "No, Byron, what is that?" Turn my flashlight on. First, the person that was standing back there went to say something about the flashlight on my phone to see the snake. I'm like, it's not bothering them. Shut up. They have a banana in there for $200. I'm like, whoa, you're about market price.
Shit, it's a fucking Petco special, bro. It's above market. It's fucking above
bro, it's
market.
nothing. Our Petcos here have like banana, bumblebees. We have bananas, and they all sell for like $150 here.
That one day they had a banana pod for either $5.99 or $6.99 or something like that. I'm like, that's the nicest one I've seen them have up here, ball python wise. Other than that, the only thing I've ever seen them have more flies was a super stripe. I need to go to your Petco though. My Petco sucks.
Bro, tell me Chris doesn't look like one of them dudes from fucking 40 Hours Investigates. On today's episode, we're after Chris.
Why is Eric missing?
For spreading crabs throughout the state of Texas.
Whatever. Forget you, Levi.
Chris is wanted for the shortage of baby oil in the United States of America.
You know what? Next live, I'm coming on lathered, bro, for you. Just for you.
Man, miss me with that shit. I ain't co-hosting that one.
You are. You're not gonna even know it. I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna like if you see me on like this.
He's gonna hit the camera on. He's gonna be shirtless, all shiny.
All right, so y'all got a first sneak
his
preview
bald head and all.
The Wish
And
version
it
of
is
Magic
only gonna.
Mike.
Hey, listen, it's only gonna cost y'all $10.99 to watch that show.
$10.99.
Hey, we're trying to make money here, okay? Shush.
Bro, you're trying to do OnlyFans through YouTube.
It doesn't matter. Donations are gladly accepted. We'll put a PayPal in the link, Cash App, Venmo.
All right, let me put my cash app for the next one.
The more Cash App donations, the more lube.
Oh man,
It's gonna be sexing and sliding.
Sexin and slide.
Sliding. Yeah, you're gonna be all oily. You're gonna be sliding everywhere.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna go sit in his chair and he's gonna go boom, boom, right to the floor. Just slide right off that some bitch.
I'd pay to see that.
See, like super chats. I don't think I have enough for that yet. How do you get super chats?
Yeah,
When you're monetized, 4,000 view hours, 1,000
Yeah,
subscribers.
see, I'm nowhere near that yet, Gio. Like,
We'll get
it's,
You'll get there, Chris. You'll get there.
I
without
mean,
baby oil.
I
I don't know
mean,
if y'all heard me earlier, but you guys got a sneak preview of what's coming. We're gonna have Magic Mike, the Wish version, on covered in baby oil.
Yeah, unfortunately with crabs, but I mean, you can't have everything. I mean, if you want a positive, there's going to be a negative.
oh my god, bro.
Oh my god. No, it's probably more Astroglide because it's, again, the Wish version.
Ooh, I do have Chris's address, and I know I can send out free samples like Astroglide and stuff off the internet. You can go all kinds of weird shit.
Bro, but don't say it's for me. Say it's from you.
No. I'm putting your name on it.
You better not.
It's going to say Sexin and Finessing. They're going to think they're delivering it to a porn shop.
And it's Sexin and Flexin, not finessing.
No, I got to leave it at Finessing, okay?
Oh my
I
god.
think they're delivering that shit to a gay club, bro.
Let me find out, Chris. That club you work at, you're on that live for a little bit outside, and then you go in and you're out there dancing on a pole or something.
Oh shit, I forgot I work tonight, bro. Thank you for reminding me.
You work tonight?
Yeah, I do. I forgot. Today's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I work tonight, but luckily I don't got to be at work till 9. Scared the shit out of myself right now.
Oh, so you still have time to run out and get some more baby oil.
And a treatment for the crabs.
I'm like, shit, bro. Fucking scared right now. I was like, oh, damn.
Next time we see Flexin, he's going to be all shaved, clean shaved, bald everywhere because he had to get rid of the crabs. It was a work hazard.
If I clean shave, it's probably because it's for the Border Patrol job. But other than that, man, I'm not shaving nothing, huh?
I can't believe you'd have to shave for a Border Patrol job.
Sometimes they like you clean cut.
Oh, what's the matter if you're fucking catching Rodriguez jumping over the fence?
I don't know what if he did a crime and my hair's on him.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He couldn't even jump a board, so he'll be crawling under it.
Bro, that's going to be my first case.
Hold on. You assume he was going to fit under the fence, bro. They'd have to put him in a fucking semi-truck.
This is what he gets for not coming in, at least stopping in. I can't even call him a little bastard willingly anymore. It just doesn't feel right.
Bro, I don't even know what happened because I haven't seen him on anything. Was he on Instagram?
He was on Instagram. Like when you were asking about that night, he went live and did that with Lucian. Oh, they're at this truck show.
Yeah, they're at Monster Jam.
Yeah, they're at Monster Jam today,
up, bro.
I know they're at Monster Jam today, but what happened with the whole fundraising thing that was supposed to be today?
We'd have to ask Patrick.
Did they postpone it?
I don't know. I didn't see nothing about it. Yeah, I didn't even get no notifications about it. Now I think about it.
Yeah, no, but it says today, October 1st. I think.
Yeah, it's October 1st already.
Yeah,
it should have been at October 1st, 10 a.m. Oh, you had it pulled up.
But it's like I didn't get any notifications or nothing for it, so I don't know.
Oh, hold on, real quick. Something that just move. Total late thought process here, Eric. Show me a purple ball python. Actually purple. You bunch of colors, fucking shade blind motherfuckers. Orange dream. Where the fuck's the orange at? Anyways.
I gotta. I'll send you a picture of my orange dream that actually does have orange. It looks orange because it's not just a single gene orange dream though. And then
I want to see a fucking orange dream that's actually fucking orange.
And then the one banana I have is because it has black pastel in it. The
I don't want to see this little tiniest shade tint of fucking color that they're calling colors. I want actual color.
Because the one that where if the banana was not albino, where the white would be is like hued kind of purpley. I think whenever I throw a black head in the banana though, they'll have more of a purplish hue because of the melanin.
But yeah, you can have a purple king snake. So eat it.
Somebody, I was just on a live and somebody was talking about like it wasn't showing on the camera, but the snake is like purple. So
no, an albino, a single gene albino is purple, like actually fucking purple.
Oh yay, one snake.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of purple, you know who Eric remind me of?
Who?
Barney the dinosaur.
Who?
Barney the dinosaur, just not purple. Like the white version.
You made no sense, sir. That was a fail.
Yeah.
Fail.
Epic fail. You got owned by yourself.
I was gonna say like by myself. That's not I'd rather myself than anybody else.
Well, your wife owns you, but we'd say that.
Oh, there's good reason for that, sir.
Peter Griffin.
Don't insult Peter Griffin like that. Get the hell out of here.
Don't insult me. Come on, let's be honest.
Peter Griffin and Brian. Chris could be Lois with crabs.
Hey, if you're comparing me to Peter Griffin, him to Chris, that would make you actually Chris from the show.
I compared him to Lois, and I compared myself to
no,
the dog.
You're not talking about Brian.
You're more like Chris, the son, or maybe Meg, the daughter.
I don't know, with that squished ass head and that hat on, bro. You do kind of look like Meg. Get the fuck out.
I'm gonna say Meg for you because you're annoying.
Oh, fucking Chris would be Quagmire.
Hey, I'm fine with that. Giggity.
No.
All right.
No. Because with his build, he'd have to be Joe, the cop in the wheelchair, because he skips leg day.
Damn, you're fucked up, bro. That's fucked.
He might actually be Cleveland though, who gets distracted easily.
Nah, don't insult Cleveland like that.
See, like I see Levi as Joe.
I don't even make any damn sense. How do I get compared to Joe?
Yeah. Levi's arms aren't even remotely big. At least Chris has the upper torso like Joe. Yeah, I seen that, Mitzi. I'll check it here in a second.
All torso, no legs. All right, gentlemen. It's been real.
It's been almost 3 hours.
Yeah, for real, dude. That went quick.
I did, because Eric brought the heat. I delivered as promised. Eric killed this solo.
Chris had the crabs.
Chris brought the crabs. Eric brought the comedy, the knowledge. We brought the controversy.
Besides my pet crab, it was overall badass life, bro. Appreciate you for being on here, Eric. Of course, my co-host, Levi from FTL Reptiles. And if you're not following Eric, I'm going to say it again. Go and follow Eric over on Instagram. His logo looks like this. Beep. Eric's Exotics. How can you not like this guy?
I might have to take the screw you guys, buy my snakes off there because I don't like selling my snakes.
Bro, you don't like selling anything.
Ah, it should be screw you. I'm going to buy more snakes.
Right?
Yeah. I'm trying not to buy any more snakes for the rest of the year.
Oh, shut your ass up. You're going to have one in 2 weeks.
Bro, he's gonna buy like 5 more.
I say that as I just bought one today, but
There are 2 lies in this industry.
Your nose is like this now.
Never had a snake escape, and I'm not buying another one.
I had one snake escape years ago, but it was a baby king snake, and it was a striped one, and that's what ruined my whole project idea because I bought like 25 of them.
Hey, hey, Levi.
And once that one got away, that was my favorite. I sold them all.
Oh shit! Here we go. What's up, Chris?
No, I was just gonna say, like, shit, when these people send us, like, us on TV, the 10th person will get like a free shirt or something next time.
Bro, you act like it's being broadcasted to the world or something. They're just fucking showing it on their damn TV.
Bro, I like that though. That's just showing love, bro. It's showing support.
Just
You know what
you
you
already
know
showed
what
off
you-
the crab eating. Where you been, bro? Sleeping
Hey.
under a rock?
What?
Old
Eden didn't
peasants
see
all
your
the
crabs.
Just for the ladies that see the crap. Okay, hold
time. Whoa. Sit your dumb ass back down. We still
Yeah, wait
trying
till
to
they
get
leave.
somewhat
Hey, at least
monetized.
let me and Levi leave first.
I know, right?
But hey, you could still iron dog them's ideas, and like people come in, you just do one of them hashtag this comments. You have the thing that picks all the names, sticker packs or something like that.
Bro, I don't even know how to do that hashtag thing they were using.
Well, that's why you talked to. That's why you talked to Chris. Fabio knows a lot of shit.
Hey, you need to talk to Derek about how to like control the screens and shit.
Look at this. This turned into the OnlyFans.
This was the OnlyFans a little while ago.
All right. Now we're dragging on, guys. All right.
Come on, host.
All right, guys, we out. Thank you for joining us on Sexin and Flexin Saturday solo with Eric again.
Ever, and he fucking killed it as promised.
And co-host Levi. Appreciate you guys for being on. And we out.
Yep. Have a good one, guys.